Oh, okay. próximo. Yeah. So I was thinking, can I join the admins? I have a lot of free time. I am always bored.
Welcome to twitch.tv/OW University. My name is Kabooks, and this is the All-Stars of the Overwatch University League in the NA region. Joining me tonight is my co-host Feeny, who will be doing color casting. If you're interested in learning more about us or how you can get involved in one of the largest recreational Overwatch leagues, follow the link to the Discord in the channel's description. You can also follow us here and on Twitter at OW University if you'd like to know or be updated when future streams go live. Feel free to drop by our subreddit, which is also located in the channel description as well as the bottom of this stream.
Tonight, during the All-Stars in the NA, we have 3 teams competing, which will be yellow, green, and purple. This will be in a round-robin format, and all matches will be in a best-of-3. And right now, we're going to start things off with Eichenwald, with yellow starting on defense and purple on offense.
Yes, and I haven't really seen these two different teams go together before because they were put together last minute and then we can toss them at each other. But personally, I haven't seen any of these people play, so I'm really interested to see what can become of this.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting to note is that they're actually running Tracer on defense. How do you feel about this Tracer so far?
Tracer can work out really well on defense, but you have to know what targets to pick. Especially on defense, you have to go after the correct targets at the correct time, and there's no room for mistakes.
And then how do you think Tracer's going to work on offense here on the purple side?
If you can get behind him, he can do some serious work if he knows what he's doing. So as we start off here, we're going to be seeing Team Purple come around in. They're going to be running a Far Mercy. She's going to be shooting down, trying to pressure that Reinhardt, and a quick pick off. And looks like Tracer is going to be falling down for Team Purple as Winston jumps in the backline, focusing down Zenyatta before he gets taken out as well. With 2 people down for Team Purple, they're going to need to fall back here and regroup. As far tries to go in, pressuring Reinhardt, but she is all by herself. She's going to need to fall back or get taken out.
A little bit of a rough start there by Purple. They kind of just rushed right in, and while they did want to push in there, they definitely were a little bit split, especially when that Tracer Pharah combo came right in. So hopefully they'll be a little bit more coordinated, but I think if they push correctly with this combo, then I think they're going to take the first point pretty well.
Yeah, when Winston dives in, everyone from his team needs to dive in. As we saw during that push, he jumped in alone, and he died alone. So for the next push, I really want to see Team Purple group up and push in, and see the Winston push in with the D.Va to try to keep that coordination. We are going to be seeing Tracer hop in, as well as D.Va and Winston. Looks like they're going to be fully committing to this push as they're pushing up towards the point. Tracer's going to be going in the back line, trying to take out their supports. One support does fall down to Pharah here. Their picks are all in favor of Purple. Looks like this. No, really nice Mercy res. Rezzing people, both of them back from when they died before. Picks are going out from both directions. Graviton Surge is going to be coming out for Yellow Team as they manage getting the picks. The res is also going to be coming out for Red as after the hammer down is taking place. The Bolton does able to come out from Tracer there, taking out Reinhardt, but looks like all the picks are in the favor of Yellow, and this push is halted.
That was a really good start by Purple there to start things off, especially with Joiwa on that Tracer, starting things off, trying to set up a Tracer Bomb. And while he didn't get a Tracer Bomb off, he did put enough pressure onto the backline to push right on through. But unfortunately, Sleepy got a really good res there at the end, and it was really big when he didn't get caught in the Graviton Surge of Kazakh. So really good play by Sleepy there for holding onto the res and letting his team push on through.
It's very nice res there. We are going to be seeing Purple Team trying to get up and regroup, ready to push in for another push. As Tracer pushes in with Winston here, looks like they're going to be doing the same thing they did before, with Tracer going in the back line, trying to get the supports, and Winston and D.Va in that front line as well. We're going to see 2 picks come out from either side with the Rocket Barrage as well as the D.Va Bomb. Only the Rocket Barrage gets 1 pick, while the D.Va Bomb gets nothing. As the red team, as Purple is kind of stalled here, as they don't really know what to do, as most of their team is dead, and they kind of lost momentum.
They definitely lost a lot of momentum there when they didn't push on through with that Zarya Winston. And one thing that also to note is that Joiwa did switch off Tracer onto that Pharah, and I think I agree with the swap here too, especially since they weren't able to set up the Tracer bombs the past 2 fights, as Team Yellow is doing a really good job defending their backline. So hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more work with this Pharah here rather than Tracer.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing much work on Tracer there, so he switched to Pharah to see if he could get some more work done, which I definitely think was a good pick. We are going to see them push in around the left side. Winston's going to be trying to jump in there, trying to get one of the tanks out of position, as the rest of the team's going to be flanking right around the pillar. And Winston's going to be propping Primal Rage on point, followed by the Transcendence for Yellow, basically negating that. Zero gets a nice clean pick off Lime, and Purple team is really scattered right now. It's kind of hard for them to take the point, but Yellow is also scattered, and looks like the Graviton Surge is going to be coming out for Yellow team. All the picks in favor of Yellow, and this point is basically stopped.
And they did a really good job comboing their ults there, especially towards the end when Kazakh threw in that Graviton Surge. And I thought that Slayer on Reinhardt was going to throw down that Earth Shatter, but it wasn't even needed at all. They just charged right in and whacked right on through. So really good ult coordination there on the side of Yellow. It's going to be really tough for Purple to push in there anyway, especially if they lost that last fight really heavily, not being able to set up against going against the enemy backline. So overall, really good ult coordination by Yellow and good defense.
Yeah, definitely. Those Graviton Surges were on point, and they basically saved a Yellow from having Purple cap every single time, so the MVP is definitely going to be Zarya for at least that first round.
How do you think their dive comp is working out on the Purple side?
I mean, they had the idea after the second push. They kind of got together and they pushed in with Winston and D.Va, but they weren't really getting the picks they needed, and if they did, they didn't get them fast enough. So I feel like the dive just wasn't working out when you dive, you need to have extremely good coordination. I just felt like they didn't necessarily have that. So maybe they could have switched to more of a traditional death balls type type of lineup and see how that worked. But unfortunately, they didn't get the first point. So all Yellow needs to do here is get that first tick, and then they got this in the bag.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially when Juaiwa, probably pronouncing that wrong, when he was in that Tracer for the past like 2 or 3 fights, they couldn't really set up the Tracer bomb at the end there. Since Yellow was doing such a good job defending their back line with Slayer on that Reinhardt just always next to his Mercy, always swatting that Tracer off. So I think coordination, while it was a little bit lacking, I think part of it is also just Yellow defending against their dive really well, especially with their tanks next to their back line.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing Yellow running that traditional dive for attack here. And on the side of Purple, we're going to be seeing Reinhardt as the tank, and with D.Va backing him up.
It looks like a pretty traditional dive, and like you said before, they are going to have to be pretty coordinated here, especially going against Purple's team, where they can get punished by D.Va really fast, unless we're going to start this off as a dive line immediately.
And Winston goes in, but with no support, he immediately gets taken out, with Lime Drop doing work, taking out Winston as well as Tracer there. Zero also gets a quick pick off, but two of their team members are dead, and they're going to need to back off.
That was a little bit of just uncoordinated by Yellow, as Kazakh did dive right in, but I don't think they worked out how far they were going to dive in, as Kazakh just dived right into the D.Va there, but it looks like they're going to try again, and as they started off by taking a pick on Hikaru.
Yes, and this Zenyatta is going off right now. He gets 1, 2, and 3 picks, and he is not being stopped at this point. He's just taking them all down as the res is going to be coming out from Brazier, resing both Zero and Tracer, and they have this point.
That was a nice clean push by Purple there. That second push was much better than the first push. They pushed right in, especially they pushed around the corner with Winston, and once they got on, once they took out Hikaru immediately, it was pretty much smooth sailing for Team Purple there. So overall, really good job executing the dive comp, especially in that second fight where they coordinated who to pick off and how to push in and when.
Definitely. You could really see a difference between that first push and that second push, especially with the Winston play. Before, he just dived in and just died right immediately. With the second push, he dived straight for what he needed to, going after the supports, and it was a nice clean push overall. And definitely, I think the MVP was that player on Zenyatta, a taunt right there, because he was just getting pick after pick after pick. So good job, taunt.
Yeah, they did really well, and then not just him getting picks after pick after pick, but the match before too, they were targeting Discords really, really well. Especially when against Pharah, when they were trying to flank around to the right, he would always have a Discord on them, and he would always call them out. And then so if you noticed, like, they would stop going over that roof. So overall, Tanti did a really good job of calling his targets and calling the Discords when they needed to.
And looks like our next map is going to be Feeny, what is our next map again?
Our next map is Route 66, I believe.
Okay, so our next map's going to be Route 66. Let me just put that in here. So while I'm setting up the settings, Feeny, why don't you talk about that last match?
Yeah, overall, that was pretty much how they executed the dive comp on both sides, and you see the difference there between how coordinated you can be with the dive comp and how you can defend against the dive comp. As you saw, that Yellow just pretty much got shut down by Purple's defense there, especially when they were running that Tracer, and that was just doing a really good job with Kazakh on that Reinhardt as well. And on the Purple side, they dived really well, especially getting that first pick against Hikaru on Mercy. So overall, it was a matter of just coordinating your targets and calling out which one is which, and I think that's why Purple came out on top.
Definitely, and looks like we have both teams ready right now. So we're going to be hopping in to Route 66 for our second match. So let's go right now. Hopping straight right in.
Traveling to Route 66.
Personally, I don't really like this map, but I know a lot of people do. It's we all know the defensive positions on this map. It's always the top of the gas station where you defend, and yeah, basically. So since the meta is going to be dive during this month, I'm really expecting to see Winston come out on both sides of their teams. I'm not gonna, yeah, definitely.
One thing to note though, and I hope that Purple does actually run it, is that we have seen a lot of Sombra play coming out here recently, and that's because she has a really good way of just controlling space on this map by hacking health packs and just hacking key targets, and especially tanks. And if Sombra does get played here, then I'm really interested to see how they're gonna play her and see if they can defend it by just pure space control here.
Definitely, I'm really interested to see if he can pull out that Sombra and play her really well. He's going to be a very formidable opponent in the next game, and especially this game. So I can't wait to see if he can pull out that Sombra correctly.
However, it looks like the purple team is running a little less traditional defense that we see on Big Earl. Usually we just see like just a big turtle here, but rather we're kind of running Winston here as well as Sombra. What do you think about this comp so far, especially on the defense side?
I think it's pretty good, but especially with the Winston and D.Va combo and defense is very, very good right now because those characters are two exceptionally strong characters, and the Sombra is going to also be nice.
I think one thing that they are going to have to watch out for is just prioritization and communication is key with this team right now. Because if they don't get the key picks off and they just spread their damage all over the place, they're not going to get any kills on this defense side, and Yellow's is going to roll right over them since they're just running a really good comp to punish this sort of comp if they don't punish them easily.
Winston and D.Va are going to be hopping onto the top of the gas station, but Sombra is in the backline, immediately flanks him and takes out Taunt, who is on Zenyatta there, but all the picks are going in favor of Yellow as they are going to be pushing the cart around this corner, but Kaz does go in a little too deep and he does get taken out by Naughty Fly there, and it looks like they're going to be holding the top of this gas station as Winston does drop down trying to contest the point, with Zero getting a really nice flanking, managing to take out Haraku as well as Dorito Purge.
Pretty good defense so far, especially with the Sombra here coming on through. But however, the Yellow's gonna have a little bit of a hard time as Lime Drop is going back here, trying to get a pick on Zenyatta. Doesn't quite manage to get it, and is gonna have to transpawn away, barely managing living, but actually gets taken out by Zerial at the last minute. And it looks like Yellow is just gonna take this first checkpoint pretty handily.
Yes, and they're going to be, no one's really contesting him right now as Kaz on that Winston's just completely stopping their any choice of any defense, and he is just taking them out right now, diving straight into their backline there, as it looks like they are trying to contest with Soldier on that point, but he's the only one on there, and he's going to be end up getting taken out, and they're going to be taking the first point.
Great job so far by Yellow, and if you notice that they actually have a pretty sizable ult advantage here. Well, Purple are building their ults. If Zerial does make a play with that Tracer Bomb with Unlucky Pally on it, then they're going to have a really easy time steamrolling this on through. But if Lime Drop just goes in and gets a really good EMP, especially around this tunnel here, then Purple's going to have to defend it really well. So we're going to see how this plays out with their ults coming in the next fight.
And looks like we are going to have 2 picks for each of the teams here, as Kaz is going to be jumping in, trying to keep that distance from the card, as the D.Va Bomb does go out as well as the EMP. The D.Va ult doesn't get anyone. Dorito on that Winston, managing to take out Praise, who's on that Mercy there. Picks are going out for both teams, but mostly for Yellow, as they are trying to keep their point contested, as Unlucky is going off, just managed to take out Naughtify there. And Kaz is on that Winston, just giving his team space, trying to keep Dorito and Haku busy, and he does manage to take out the Yana there, and they're going to be pushing around this corner.
There you see Yellow just setting things up correctly, and they're streamrolling right on through. And what's really scary about this is that they still have their ults. Unlucky Pally is still holding on to Pulse Bomb. Zerial's still having a Tactical Advisor, so Purple's really going to have to go all in with their ults if they do want to hold on to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to try to contest here, but looks like Yellow is going to have to say no to that, as Purple does activate their ult, does manage to take off Zerial, unfortunately. But looks like they really want to contest this, but all the picks are in favor of Yellow, as Winston's just primal raging at their spawn right now, just completely staggering the bejesus out of them as they're going to be taking this second point.
Great job there, Unlucky Pally, setting things up with Tracer on that pulse bomb. And Purple, well, they do have Tactical Visor and Nano Boost still ready to go. They don't have that EMP, which would be really nice right now, as Purple or Yellow is holding on to a really good ult advantage, especially with that Transcendence. However, Lime Drop does get a nice pick on Tracer, and that's going to slow down their push a little bit as Tracer gets taken out from the backline.
Yeah, Unlucky did go a little too far there, and he end up getting taken out, as looks like Purple has found their footing slightly, as their Winston is going to be dropping on the cart. Looks like he is going to go after Zenyatta as he transcends to save himself. The EMP is going to be coming out, as well as the Tac Visor, with Zuriel trying to get those key picks there. Looks like the D.Va Bomb is also going to be coming out, managing to get Naughty Fly, as all the picks are in for Yellow right now. They're going to be pushing this cart down the straightaway here.
And Yellow's just rolling on through right now. Purple's gonna have a really hard time here. That EMP, they really needed that to not only connect for more people, but they also needed that to connect to the right people. And as they push right on through, it looks like Tactical Visor's gonna get popped here as Yellow's looking to take the point.
Looks like Zero does manage to pop Tac Visor, but not before he can finish off Naughty Fly, as Sleepy does try to activate his Transcendence as well. Taunty is going to be going off on that Zenyatta, taking 2 picks for Yellow Team, 3 picks for Yellow Team, as well as the also the D.Va Bomb is going to be going off. Doesn't manage to get anyone, as looks like this going to be pushing straight for the 3rd and final point, as Purple is really desperate to contest.
This will be a Primal Rage popped on the point as well as Nano Boost, as Purple is desperately trying to contest here. However, Yellow is still going on through as to take out 3 of the side of Purple. And while Dirty Approach finally gets taken down, that's pretty much the last big defense with that Primal Rage. Lifefly is going to get demeched here on Baby D.Va. Probably going to get knocked out pretty soon here on Yellowfly. Finally does manage to get taken out. Zurio's doing a really good job on that high ground. Taking it to Purple, holding it down. He does almost have Tactical Visor as well. Deploys it, takes out Ana instantly in the back, as getting supported by Mercy as well. Winston is on the point still, but does get taken out again. Defense Magic is taking out Joao, trying right on in, and it looks like Yellow almost has his point, but Purple is trying to stall with D.Va and Winston and Mei and Lucio, and just doing the best they can to hold on through.
Yeah, they all switched to stall characters. They don't want to give up this point. They're really desperate to hold on to it, even though they're dying one after the other. They're still on this cart, and it's only 2.8 meters away. As the Transcendence does get popped by Yellow, they want to finish this here and now. They want to get that cart to the end of the line, get this 3rd and final point, and they do it.
That was a really long stall by Purple, so great job by them. But overall, Yellow was just steamrolling right on through. It was really scary too, because they were steamrolling on through, especially in the last few fights, without the use of their ults. And Purple is going to have to definitely coordinate against their ults if they are want to have a chance of attacking against Yellow.
Definitely, and we did see. Yeah, I think just Yellow. I think the problem is Yellow just has more synergy between their teammates, and Purple can't really seem to get together and come up with some concise plans, just like Yellow is. So I feel like what they really need to do is just get together as a team, group up, figure out a plan or solution, try to combat what Yellow is doing, and they have to get all 3 points in a row to tie and move on. So I really want to see them group up and take these 3 points here.
Yeah, you kind of saw that at the last few fights there, where Sombra had EMP and then she would deploy it, but the team just wouldn't follow on through when they really needed it, especially to stop Transcendence as well. When Naughty Fly came in and stopped the Transcendence and baited it out, but didn't follow on through either. So just those things are need to be cleaned up if they do want a chance of winning against Purple.
Definitely, and as we see here, we're going to be seeing a traditional Reinhardt Zarya combo for defense. You're not going to be playing the dive comp on defense. What do you think about this development?
My friends, that's resources standing around.
I think this is the more safer play, especially when you're running the Tracer on the defense side, since you have a lot of space control and a lot of movement on the borders of Big Earl. So, and with that Discord, it's also going to help a lot from a target calling perspective, where you can just put a Discord on the back line. You can have Unlucky Paladins come in and clean it up. So overall, I think this is a pretty solid, safe defense right here on this side of Yellow.
definitely. We are going to be seeing Purple push that cart around this corner here as they are going to start fighting Yellow here, and we are going to be seeing some Tracer 1v1s turn out in the tunnel as well, as Purple does push this cart completely around this corner. Dorito Purge is in the back line trying to get an early pick off one of their supports, as the Winston from Purple does manage to jump on, but Zero is having none of that, immediately takes out Dorito Purge. And but Lime Drop also finishes off Slayer, and the picks back and forth. It's pretty even fight so far, but it looks like Yellow is going to be having most of the picks here, as they're really desperate to contest this point.
Yeah, they're still contesting the point, as it looks like Zarya actually does get taken out by Jaya, and Yellow's a little bit man down here, but they're still pushing right on through, and Purple's doing a really good job. Zuriel gets another pick on Unlucky Pally, and that's going to stop them from defending the backline, and it's looking like Purple's going to take the first checkpoint pretty cleanly here.
Unfortunately for Taunty, he is in the back line, way in the back there, without his team. He's either going to have to get back or going to get really staggered here.
Yeah, it looks like it's back up to his team, but he almost makes it down. Oh, unfortunately, he does get taken out by a Soldier and gets a little bit staggered there at the end.
Yes, he almost made it out, but he did. Soldier did manage to finish him off there. As since Yellow is staggered, Purple does have an advantage here to push this cart through this doorway and maybe around this next corner.
Yellow's taking a really good high ground here, especially with that Reinhardt. Purple's going to have to be careful as Uriel is about to have technical visor soon, but it looks like they're going to take the fight to them as D.Va flies on through here.
Dorito is going to be popping that pulse bomb, does manage to finish off Slayer, who is on Reinhardt. The Primal Rage is going to be popped for the side of Purple, as they're really desperate to push this point through, as Dorito gets another pick, which this time on Zuriel. They're going to be pushing this point around the corner. Unlucky with that pulse bomb. Kaiju just managed to walk back into the pulse bomb, which he gets taken out by, but looks like they're going to be holding this point, as Attack Visor is going to be popped out by Soldier here, but it's immediately canceled out by Yellow, who used Transcendence.
And it looks like while Yellow is still fighting around, they are still getting contested here, as Defense Victory does get popped up and they're looking to reset and keep pushing on through.
As Lime Drop does use his D.Va bomb there, he does manage to take off Taunty. The Graviton Surge is coming out for Yellow, but there's really no one gets picked off during it, as both teams are fighting it out right now. Haku is going to be popping that sound barrier. Lime just the attack visor is coming out for Zuriel, but Dorito Purge with a really nice pulse bomb immediately taking him out, as Joa is going to be going off, but it's immediately negated by that Mercy Res there, but Dorito Purge is still in that backline, focusing on them, taking out 1, 2, and 3. Looks like this momentum is in favor for Purple.
Yeah, and Purple's still holding on through here, and they all have their ults back on. We have Primal Rage online, we have Defense Matrix online, and we have Res, and so it looks like Purple is going to be taking this first checkpoint. And even though Yellow is looking to defend again, it's going to be really hard for them if they do decide to contest, as they're running into a Res and a Primal Rage.
Yes, and D.Va is desperate to contest that point. She is on there trying to hold it, and she does give time for her team to get on there. Most of Purple is on there, as that Pulse Bomb does get popped, doesn't manage to get anyone. Sleepy solo reses Lime to try to keep this push going. It's a little bit questionable there, as Primal Rage does end up getting popped for the side of Purple here, as it's both teams are just fighting over the point.
Hikaru with that cheeky little play against Zuriel, actually taking out Soldier in the backline there. And Purple is still pushing on through, and I think Kazak's the only one left onto the point. And Slayer Electric's gonna get staggered at the end here, but Purple's gonna take the second checkpoint at last.
Now, I really want to talk about that solo res there for D.Va. Do you think that was a good decision by Sleeper there?
I don't think so, as they definitely need the res to push on through here, as Yellow is holding on to not one, the ult advantage, but also the spawn and the positional advantage here. So they're definitely going to need a res to bail them, to push them through here, basically. But if they can get away with getting a pick on the Purple side, then I think it wouldn't matter too much if they get the one-man res.
The Graviton Surge is going to be coming out as well, with Deep Bomb right in there as well, taking out 2 really nice ult combo there, as their push is basically done for.
That was a really good combo there. Great job on the side of yellow. However, they one thing to note there that purple Sleepy actually almost has res again, and it looks like they're gonna push on through with the Defense Matrix initiation, as well as the Tactical Visor in the back line. And yellow's gonna have to be careful here, since the Defense Matrix, if it lobs it correctly in the back line and does take out the supports, then they're not gonna have the defense that they need, even if they do have the positional advantage. So yellow's gonna have to be really careful here at the end.
We did see a Tracer 1-for-1 going out in the corner there. Studio does manage to take out Unlucky as Purple has the momentum here. As it looks like Naughty Fly is going to be pushing in the back, trying to take out their supports, but he goes in too deep without any support for his team. He immediately gets taken out. The self-destruct is going to be going out, but Zero unfortunately gets immediately taken out while he is back by the CB. Is going to be rezzing Naughty Dog and Dorito with the transcendence coming out from Zenyatta for the side of yellow. They really want to contest this point and hold on to it. Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out, taking Slayer out of his mech. The Attack Visor is going to be popping out as well. They're pushing this point a little bit more, pushing it even closer towards the third checkpoint.
And there's yellow. They're still defending here, but they're having a really hard time without their tank and their support right here. They still have the high ground since they're still pushing on through and abusing it, especially with Zero here on that soldier. But as Winston dives him, it's going to be a matter of time until yellow loses that advantage and purple pushes on through.
We are going to see most of the bigs come out for yellow here as they get two, and looks like purple's going to be falling back and regrouping as they lost their players and they got to regroup and get ready for the second portion.
That was a great stagger there. Looks like Kikuru almost has sound barrier, and that's going to be what they need to push on through this choke here, especially with Zero on that soldier. They definitely want Naughty Fly on him on the high ground if they want any chance of pushing on through.
We are going to be seeing a combo again with the Diva Bomb and the Graviton Surge, but it immediately gets negated by Sleepy, who uses the sound barrier to get that sustain and push in, but Nani does manage to get taken out. Zuriel does also finish off Dorito, but Joanna is taking people out as well as the picks are going back and forth for each team, but at this point, looks like Yellow has the more sustain as they can push back.
Yeah, Yellow's pushing on through, and we still have Zuriel on with Back Visor and Praise on that Mercy. Still has red, so Purple's gonna have to really pull a miracle here if they want to take this point.
Yes, in about 15 seconds left, this is the last push they're going to have as Kaz finishes off Naughty Fly. He's not going to be here for the last push.
Looks like we have Dorito Purge looking for a pulse bomb here. This is what they need as they get it on Zenyatta, but actually misses, and Zenyatta lives from that pulse bomb. We are in the overtime here, and it looks like we're going to have the last fight as Yellow desperately tries to defend them against Purple.
As the self-destruct is going to be going off, doesn't get anyone as Taunt does activate his Transcendence, trying to keep his team alive, trying to force Purple off of this point. Zuriel does activate Attack Visor, but immediately gets taken out as the Diva Bomb does really nice play with Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb there. Does take out two and one more as it looks like Purple is trying to hold on here. Sleepy with a really nice res as Primal Rage does get popped by Winston as they're trying to hold on to this point.
It looks like we had Joao is trying to set something up with Tactical Visor, but actually gets taken out instantly by Mercy and Soldier. It looks like we have Zuriel on the high ground trying to take them out. But as Zuriel gets harassed out from Winston, but Yellow is still trying to push on through, trying to get the point.
Zero is going to be activating his attack visor, trying to clean up the last remaining people on this point. Only Dorito is on the point right now. He's the only one as Tuan does pop his attack visor in turn and immediately gets countered by Tawny, who is on that Zenyatta, of course. As we're still at overtime right now. If Purple gets off for even a second, it's over.
It looks like Joao blows up Unlucky Pallet instantly, looking for a Pulse Bomb. But Yellow is still pushing on through, but however, they do get two picks off. And with Purple, still have Mercy Res as well. And so Yellow's going to have to be really careful and really clever against the push here.
Phrase does use his ultimate there, does res 2 to try to keep his team alive, trying to force Purple up this point. But they really have a lot of momentum here as the self-destruct does get popped. Naughty Fly is going after them. Just managed to get two, just managed to get three. With only Zarya and Unlucky on that point, they're going to need to contest this as they both get taken out. Only Unlucky on that point. He's really trying to contest.
Unlucky Pallet searching to contest. He was going to set up a Pulse Bomb, but actually gets taken out instantly. And Purple's still defending, contesting on through as Dorito Purge goes off, takes three. Then self-destruct does get popped on, but gets no one. But they're almost to the point as there's 1 meter left, but there's no one on the point with that Graviton Surge. And Yellow barely manages on through there, and they take the final checkpoint.
Yes, unfortunately, that was a really nice Graviton Surge at the very end. It managed to get a lot of them, but there really wasn't any helping for that Zarya because she didn't really have a lot of charge, and two, there really was no one with her. So even if she got on that point, it would have been really hard to capitalize on that Graviton.
Overall, that was a really impressive play by Yellow, especially that it started off with Purple pretty much having all the advantage. They had the ult advantage, they had the height advantage as well, with Zuriel posting up on that truck beautifully the whole time. But unfortunately, Purple just couldn't defend against it, since Yellow on that Tracer just did really well taking care of the back line and just pushing on through, as well as their soldier play as well. He would also come around and flank against the Mercies and the back line as well. So overall, really good job by Yellow there, and being clever despite not having the ult advantage.
Yes, we really saw both teams pull through there towards the end. Purple really figured out what they were doing wrong, and they managed to cap all those 3 points. Definitely. So we're going to be seeing a third round here with Yellow having the time advantage, with Purple only having 1 minute remaining. So let's see how much they can do with this 1 minute.
It looks like they're gonna be running the Widow here, and I think this is the right play, as they desperately need a pick instantly, and if they don't get it, then they pretty much lose. So I'm happy to see this Widow to see if they pay it off. If it makes it, then they're gonna do really well, but if they don't, then they were in a desperate situation anyway.
It looks like Tracer is looking for a pick here to try to stop this push immediately, as Winston does dive in. He has to be careful though, because if he gets taken out, it's going to be over, as picks come out for both teams right now. It's a 5v5 as they're going to be starting to fight on this card.
Looks like Yellow actually dropped down, trying to contest onto the point against Purple. However, they are still 1 man down, and no one is diving onto the supports right here. They're going to have to be really careful if they're going to jump on the point.
Naughty Fly is going to be going in, but he tries to take out Zenyatta, but he dies. And it looks like all the points are for Yellow. Looks like they're going to be stopping this push.
And Purple was doing a really good job there, especially with that first pick. But unfortunately, when Yellow dropped down, they weren't able to punish the supports that came down with them. And as a result, they pretty much stayed alive and healed the rest of Yellow back up. So I think if Purple was able to punish those supports when the tanks jumped right on down, then I think they definitely would have had a shot, especially with Widow on the top right there covering their backline. But unfortunately, the supports didn't get punished on Yellow side, and when they came on through, they all pretty much got healed at the end there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Widow pick I think was necessary to a degree, because if they could get a quick pick, that means they would have probably had that choke there. But unfortunately, the Widow got taken out by Unlucky Pally, who was on that. He's been doing a lot of really good Tracer work, especially in this game. So we are going to be seeing another Widowmaker coming out for Taunty for attack. They're probably going to try to do the same thing as Purple had in mind.
It looks like we have Sombra on Purple's side as well, with Lime Drop running it as again. Oh, it looks like I actually switched off D.Va, so never mind. I forget everything I just said. But it looks like Purple is going to be running this sort of not really the traditional like Route 66 Deathball type of defense. However, one thing interesting to note is that looks like we are running a Reaper here. They kind of had a little moment of hesitation, but it looks like we are going to be running Reaper on defense. What do you think about this Reaper pick on defense?
I think it's exceptionally needed because they have a Winston. I mean, if that Winston's going to be diving in, you need to take him out quick and fast to stop this push, and a Reaper is definitely going to be doing that.
One thing interesting to note is that we actually have Hanzo and... Oh, just kidding. Let's forget everything I just said, but however, we do have Widow on yellow side again, so we're going to see how this works out on their side. They do have more time, however, so it's going to be a little bit less punishing if they don't execute as best as they can.
Looks like we are going to be seeing some sort of pincer maneuver as Tracer and Slayer went behind through the tunnel, and they collapsed on Purple, and Purple really had no idea what was going on, and they lost a bunch of their players.
Yeah, with 2 down right now, it's going to be really hard for Purple to come back, as D.Va just got D-Mech and gets taken out by Widow there, and we have Tracer onto the point trying to contest, but unfortunately does get taken out again. and yellow is just rolling on through here. It's not looking good for purple, but if they come back in time, and especially with Dorito Purge still coming back in time, then they might have a shot, but it's looking really rough for them.
A really nice shot by Taunty, taking out Naughty Fly in midair, as looks like they're going to be taking this point. Oh, before, I'm not going to speak too soon, as we are going to be seeing them trying to contest here, as, but it looks like they're going to be having this point.
Yeah, that was a little bit of cheeky play there at the end, and Purple had no idea. And they were really set up on Big Earl as well. They're trying to push on through, and I think that's why Yellow's maneuver really worked there. So great job for them for taking out that defense pretty cleverly.
Yeah, very good job for Yellow. I loved that pincer maneuver they displayed at the very end there. I know it's a weird thing to say, pincer maneuver, but that's exactly what they did. They took the Diva and Tracer, went through that tunnel, and Purple had no idea what was going on. They just came at them from both sides and immediately just killed their defense, and it was a really nice play to see.
Overall, what do you think about these two teams so far?
I really like these two teams. I feel like they're especially like really even to go against each other. There's like no really good. One wasn't really necessarily better than the other. What just happened was Yellow just had that a little bit of a more. They cooperated a little bit better and had a little better ult management, and in the end, that proved enough to take the round there.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like our next map is going to be Ilios, and I think Ilios is going to be interesting since we've kind of seen how both of these teams play out, and if they are going to run this on the King of the Hill map, then I think it's going to be coming down to who can coordinate better, especially in a pretty wide map like Ilios. And it seems like both teams are pretty competent at running, some sort of dive comp and coordinating that dive comp as well. So it's pretty much going to come down to whoever is going to coordinate better and whoever is going to get those key pickoffs, especially in the little bit tricky map like Ilios, and that's who's going to take this map here.
Definitely, and I'm really interested to see what these teams can pull out on this next map for Ilios.
Oh, actually, unfortunately, I did not realize it was best of 3. I thought it was going to be best of 5, so it is actually 2-0, and since it's already 2-0, it did come down to yellow, so it looks like they already took the match.
Yes, sorry for that little bit of a mix-up. We did had to change up the rule set last minute, so I think we were operating off the old one. But NA Yellow did win this first round here, so good job for either team.
Looks like we're going to have our next match soon here, but in the meanwhile, we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, we're going to have another All-Star match for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Everyone, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the All-Stars game from the Overwatch University League for the NA region. If you guys are interested in learning more about us, or how you can get involved in one of the largest recreational Overwatch leagues, follow the link to the Discord in the channel's description. You can also follow us here and on our Twitter at OW University if you like to be updated when future streams go live. Feel free to drop by our subreddit, which is also located in the channel's description as well as the bottom of this stream.
So we just finished our first match against Yellow and Purple, and Yellow went 2-0 against Purple, finishing it off in Route 66. And in this match, we're going to start things off in Volskaya right now, and Green's going to be defending first, and we're going to have Yellow on offense first. This is round robin, so we are going to be seeing all the teams play against one another at some point here.
Definitely. And for Purple, we're going to be seeing a traditional dive comp for attack here. As if we look on defense, Green, they're also going to be running a Winston and Diva as well. So it's going to be dive comp for either team.
I really like Diva here on defense, actually, since Diva has so much more momentum to move around here, as well as using that defense matrix can block off choke points really nicely. So I'm really digging this Diva pick, especially when against Yellow here. However, I think Yellow is going to have a little bit of a hard time pushing on through, unless Unlucky Pally does make a big pick on the back with Tracer. I think Yellow gonna have a little bit of a hard time here against Green's composition.
And we are underway here, and looks like Purple is going to be pushing around the left side here, trying to dive in, as Green's taking more of a defensive position as they're not really defending at the choke. Looks like Kaz is going to be jumping in here. Diva is going to be following him in a second, as they are going to be popping onto the objective, but Kaz does fall down to take damage and Lucky Pal isn't in the back line. Looks like he's trying to go for a pick, but Winston is on him as he's going to have to back off slightly. And looks like Purple lost their Winston here, and because they lost their Winston, they kind of lost their momentum.
Yeah, and Green is essentially just cleaning up right on through here, and Yellow's going to have to regroup in the back. Duzzles gets a really nice pick on Tracer, and is going to have to stagger them as well. Diva does get the mech, however, and that's a really good move. They don't finish him off, and Nikola Tesla actually gets a nice pick on Zenyatta. So overall, Yellow is pretty staggered here, especially with Diva not on that mech, and support's getting taken out. And Green's doing a really good job on defense.
Definitely, and especially with that Diva out of her mech, it's going to be really hard to push in because you're basically down one tank. And with even Zenyatta staggered, it's also going to be hard to take him out. And also, Zuriel just got taken out as well, so they're going to be down a guy, and they're going to have to wait a pretty penny just to push in as a whole team.
One thing I was going to watch out for is Nikola Tesla on this McCree. He's been doing a pretty good job of taking out Tracer here, defending the back line. So it's going to be a little bit rough for Unlucky Pally to come on through. And that's going to be their condition to push right on through. But however, they're going to try to push again, but actually gets taken out instantly by Duzzles. That's going to slow them down a little bit.
Looks like Unlucky Pally is going to be trying to hop onto the objective, trying to take out Zen, but immediately gets pushed back as Zero is going to be taking the high ground, trying to shoot down onto the point, trying to get any advantage they need, as Tac Visor is coming up from Drizzles, as well as Happy is also going to be getting that Ana boost, but the Transcendence negates almost every little bit of it, and Drizzles only manages to take out one here. And it looks like Slayer is also going to be taking out Drizzles, and they're going to be having enough energy here, maybe to push in.
And you see Kaz getting a nice pick on Z-Move, and that's going to be really nice for them to push on through here with the back of those two picks. Zuriel is still holding on to Tactical Visor here, so look to see him pop here, especially on the top side right here. Defense Matrix, or something that does get popped onto the point but doesn't get anyone, but it's looking like Yellow's trying to push on through here as they wipe out Keaton on that Ana.
Yes, and it looks like Yellow is going to be taking this first point. Really good focus fire there by Yellow as they went after, as Winston immediately went after Mercy and was able to take her out. Even if she had her res, she couldn't really do anything when she was dead. So really well played on Kaz's part for going after that Mercy.
Yeah, you kind of see Yellow there figured out how to break through that defense, especially with Unlucky Pally on that Tracer, and Zero getting a nice few picks as well. However, it's going to be a little bit trickier for them as well as here, as they dive into the back line as Kaz pushes on through, but looks like they're going to try to tap the point as fast as possible here.
Looks like Primal Rage is going to be pumped by Kaz there, as Lucky Pally is also activating his Pulse Bomb. Does Pen and manage to take out Nikola Tesla, and with Diva out of her mech as well, Zuriel is going to be pumping his Tag Visor just to clean up everyone here and try to hold on to this point as best as possible. Looks like Dozos does manage to sneak onto the point, however, and they don't really know he's there, and he takes out 2 before he gets found out. And Zuma with that res does basically secure this defense. But before I spoke too soon, Praise with that really nice burst res as well. They really want to hold on to this point as Tawny does activate his Transcendence there as well.
Great defense there by Green. They did really well on the back foot there, especially with Praise on that Mercy, getting a 2-man res to stop that push at the beginning. And then we also had Soldier come on through as well and clean up the back line. So that was a little bit sloppy on the side of Green there, as they could have dived onto Mercy as she was coming out, but they kind of just let her walk right out and get that res off. So while Green was a little bit sloppy there towards the end, they did manage to get 2 ticks, and they are holding on to 3.5 minutes of time. So if I was Green right now, I'd be pretty comfortable of just building ults on the top and just not rushing it.
Looks like we are going to be seeing Yellow immediately go in. That Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out from Lucky Pally, but it doesn't quite manage to take anyone out. The Primal Rage is also going to be popped out from Winston as he gets 2 picks with it. 3 picks. Really nice Primal Rage by Winston there. Zuriel does manage to finish off I am Nappy here with Zuriel popping his Tag Visor just to, not Zuriel. Drizzle's popping his Tag Visor just to try to hold on to that point, but doesn't quite manage to get it as takes damage. Does also pop his Diva ult, doesn't get anyone with it as Taunty is going to pop his Transcendence, try to hold on to that point as Nicholas Tesla does use his Death Blossom there, getting Taunty with Zuriel activating his ultimate, gets 1 and 2 picks. The Mercy Res comes in, reses 2 of them as Unlucky finishes off Nikola Tesla.
However, we do have Praise on the yellow side, holding on to res as well. He's going to go for the 2-man res and does manage to get it. Meanwhile, we have Unlucky Pally pulling on Tracer Bomb. Actually takes out Zarya as well in the back line. It's looking really good for yellow as they pop all their ults and get the picks as well. And Green is 4 down, not having a res. It's looking really rough for them to defend this point. And we're going to see if yellow can finish it off here.
Looks like Yellow did manage to secure that point. Really well played by Yellow.
Yeah, Praise did a really good job there at the end, holding on to the res and just hiding on the top left. Green was more concerned about just holding on to the point rather than looking for Praise, and so it made it really easy for Team Yellow to just defend their back line and get that res off as well. And also to note that Unlucky Pally did a really good job of getting a Tracer Bomb take out that Zarya as well. I believe Zarya was gonna absorb it, but it looks like that Pulse Bomb did manage to connect. So overall, really good job for Yellow there. I was a little bit concerned, especially from the first point, to see if they were going to break through against Green's composition, but they managed to figure it out by coordinating their attacks and getting the key targets, especially that Winston diving onto the backline, having their team follow on through, and that's a really good sign to see as they know how to coordinate the dive comps and how to coordinate their ults as well.
Yeah, really well played by Yellow, showing that they are really well coordinated with their ultimates. And we are going to be seeing them defend. We are going to be seeing a Sombra come out for this first point. What do you think about the Sombra pick coming out from Yellow?
We've been seeing a lot of Sombra actually on these 2 CP maps, and I really like Sombra on these 2 CP maps since she has a lot more space control. We did see her on Route 66 try to go ahead on defense side, and while it does work on Route 66, it's a little bit hard to execute. But on these 2 CP maps where they're static, it's really nice. It's really easy for Sombra to just take space, and once you take that space, it's there. It's not moving at all. So hopefully if they're able to execute the Sombra on the defense side, then I think they're gonna do really well. Especially if they do manage to hack the key targets like Genji and Winston and Soldier and whatnot.
Yes, Sombra is really good on these maps, and as we're going to be getting underway here, we are going to be seeing Green going with that traditional dive, but looks like iNappy is going to be really the only tank. So I really want to see Nikola Tesla go in with him. Otherwise, he's going to be dying alone when he dives in.
Looks like Green is pushing right on through immediately, going through the left side right here, and it looks like Keaton's going to take the high ground immediately. It's a really good start for Green, and Yellow actually just gives up all that ground, and Kazakh actually gets taken now, but it takes damage, and this is a really great start for Green right now.
Yes, Kazakh, one of their tanks does go down to Zenyatta there, as they didn't really to contest that area at all, as Dozel just and Inappy just come in and immediately just kick them all out. Looks like this point's going to be going in the hands of Green almost immediately.
And that's one bad thing about not running Lucio on the defense side here. Since as you see there with Green running Tracer and Lucio as well, they're able to rotate really fast, and with a wide open space on the first point, it's really hard for Yellow to rotate against Green and stop them from taking the high ground if they didn't have a Lucio of their own. So unfortunately, it was a mix of Yellow not being prepared and Yellow not being able to answer basically against Green since they're running Lucio. But looks like they're going to try to finish it off again as they push on through the second point.
Looks like Green wants to finish this quickly as they immediately jump onto the point here. Primal Rage is going to be getting popped by Winston here. Picks are going up for both sides. Design Happy with that Primal Rage does manage to get 2 hits with it. And it looks like they're going to be starting to claim this objective as Nikola Tesla is on it, trying to take out that those people as Inappy is in that backline. Keaton with that stack visor does manage to take out one before he gets taken out by Tawny, who is on Zenyatta, but unfortunately no one's there to contest. Zuriel pops his tack visor there, but gets nullified by Zenyatta. Praise with that really nice res, trying to keep the point alive, trying to hold on to that defense, but all the picks are going in for Green right now because Inappy took out Zuriel. Most of their DPS is gone as a Sound Barrier does manage to come out from Zumu.
We'll see, we have Green still trying to contest here. The Pulse Bomb does get popped, but however, Nikola Tesla is coming right in with a Dragon Blade. He's looking to pop it. As he does manage to pop it, goes for Zuriel right on through and does manage to take him out. Also manages to take out Mercy as well. And with a triple kill on the side of Nikola Tesla, it looks like Green does take the first round pretty handily.
Very well played by Green. They knew they had a plan, they knew exactly what to do, and they executed it really well. Especially we saw that on the first point. Yellow didn't really know how to defend against what Green was doing. They pushed in as a unified team, and they didn't give anything to where Yellow was positioning. They took up their positions. Keaton took that really nice high ground right next to the point, and he was able to shoot down onto the point, taking out key targets, and they just basically crushed Yellow's defense, and Yellow didn't really have an answer for it.
Yeah, and especially that Lucio was a really big value pick for Green side, as they were able to rotate way faster than Yellow could answer to them, and as a result they got the positions, like the high ground, really fast, and Yellow pretty much couldn't do anything about it since they weren't running a comp that could answer to it. While they did have a Tracer and a Winston, it's not enough to stop a whole team from just taking the high ground and basically taking it as fast as Green did. So really good job for Green for coordinating that, and as well as running that comp really well with taking the high ground on the first and the second point as well.
Now, as you look for each of these teams, we're going to come down to 5 seconds before we have to start. We are going to be seeing Nikola Tesla on that Hanzo for defense. What do you think about this Hanzo pick for Green?
I actually really like this Hanzo pick for the first point here, since you have a lot to work with Sonic Arrow, and Scatter Arrows in the choke points where they have to push in through is going to be really deadly. And you see there he gets a few shots off the back line. And overall, I think Hanzo's going to have a really good time if he does hold the high ground this whole fight.
As we saw Yellow come in, we can see why Reinhardt's no longer really in the meta anymore, as he gets surrounded by the entirety of Yellow and immediately gets taken out. Looks like Yellow's going to be having this point here.
Yeah, Yellow's pushing on through, and Zuriel finishes off Inappy there, getting a little bit staggered on the side of Green, and it looks like they're going to cap the first point pretty handily. And Green is going to have to be really careful here towards the defense side, since they are a little bit behind on ults here. We do have res on the side of Praise, and if they do decide to dry push here, it's still going to be dangerous as Praise still has that res. And it looks like they are going to regroup, and it looks like they are going to dry push right on in on the back of that res.
Definitely, we are going to be seeing that Yellow group up, and they're going to be pushing in as a team. They're still going to be keeping that Reinhardt, as Kaz does go in, trying to go after Soldier here. Looks like he's going to be he doesn't quite get taken out, as Dozel does manage to pop his tack visor. Gets praised. He was trying to fly to the Winston to help him, as looks like Slayer was in that back line. He gets back, and the Dozel's got a bunch of picks, and they're going to be holding on to this point.
Great defense there. They managed to stop that dry push by just doing a lot of damage when they came right on through. You see Kazakh on that Winston, tried to bubble all of it, but when he went around the corner, he wasn't able to get healed, and as a result, he got melted. And the rest of yellow really wasn't ready to push on with him there. It looked like, as they were still pushing onto the choke. And so once Winston got picked off, it was really easy for green to just dive in against their backline on that soldier and on that tracer as well.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing yellow starting to push in again as Winston does jump in here. Unlucky tries to get the pulse bomb on, takes damage, but doesn't quite get it as he gets taken out by Nikola Tesla. But Winston just pushes Reinhardt into the pit with Keaton getting a really nice primal rage out there, and the attack visor is going to be taken out for Zuriel as he does manage to take out Dozens here. Zumbo with that res does res two of his team back, but they immediately get taken out by the Diva Bomb here as takes damage, doesn't get that honor boost. They really want to hold on to this point.
It looks like we have Anna boosted Reinhardt on the point here. He does have an Earth Shatter as well, trying to swat out Zuriel, does manage to take him out, and they're defending successfully here as Duzzle finally manages to take out Baby Diva on the backline there, and it looks like green manages to defend successfully.
Really well played for both teams. I thought yellow was going to be able to push in and take that second point, but green got it together, and even if both of their tank and one of their main healers went down to that primal rage, they were able to hold on to it. So congratulations for holding on to it.
That was Zuriel was actually on the back line trying to clean out Soldier and Mercy, but he actually didn't get it on time, and as a result, Praise on that Mercy was able to just fly on through and get a res off. So it was really unfortunate that the Technical Advisor didn't kill Mercy, but a really good job by Mercy for getting that 2 or 3 man res out in the back there, pretty much resetting the fight and giving them a chance to defend that point.
Really well played, and as we look on to the third and final round, we're going to be seeing Unlucky Pally switching to that Reaper. What do you think about this Reaper pick?
I think Reaper is going to be pretty well here, especially if you're running that, if they are expecting that Winston on green, which they are. One thing to note though is it's still not going to solve the problem of green being able to rotate and take whatever they want, essentially, since they don't really have the mobility on yellow's side to handle that. And so even though Reaper is going to be countering Winston here, he's not gonna be able to stop the rest of the team from rotating against him and just taking him out instantly with that Lucio and the rest of the dive comp.
Definitely, and we're going to be seeing green team pushing around the right side and immediately diving straight into here. Let's see what they can do.
Looks like we have Genji diving right on through here, trying to push on through, but however, Winston is zapping him through the deflect, and he does almost die, he does manage to come back out, and looks like to be successful against Nikola Tesla. However, looks like green is still pushing on through, still taking as much advantage as they can, and you see yellow just kind of get clumped up here, and they lost a lot of ground. They still have the top right high ground, but it looks like Nikola Tesla's going to try to take over it here as they go against the 2 supports.
And yellow did the same thing they did last time. They let green push in way too much, and in conclusion, they were easily able to take this first point again.
Yeah, and you see there, that Reaper pick could have been good, but like we said before, that if they weren't able to solve the problem of green just rotating against them and taking whatever position they want, and as a result, you saw there at the end, they kind of got collapsed onto the point, and there really wasn't much room for yellow to work with, especially Unlucky Pally on that Reaper. However, on the second point, it's a little bit harder for yellow as for green, as there's less choke points to go around, and if Unlucky Pally is able to corner Vincent, then I think they might start off well.
Looks like Duzzies does get a quick pick off on Lucky Pally as Keaton does activate his Tactical Visor. It looks like Transcendence is also popped for green as they really want to finish this point off here and now, as all the picks are going in favor for green, but a really good res by Praises versus 3 back as Zuriel does activate his Tactical Visor. He does manage to take out Nikola Tesla as well as Keaton, and Kaz does finish off, takes damage, but Lucio does activate his Sound Barrier. They're trying to hold on to the point, but with most of the picks in favor of yellow, looks like they're going to be holding on to it.
Yeah, however, it looks like green is still trying to push on through. They do have Primal Rage and they do have Pulse Bomb to make the plays, but I think they're making the wise choice here, regrouping, and once they have everyone together, they're going to have Duzzle and Nappy on that Tracer and Winston respectively to make the plays for them.
Definitely. So it was a really good job of holding back your bloodlust almost and just regrouping, taking advantage of the situation and just pushing in as a team once again. As we see them doing now, the Dragon Blade is going to be popped out for Nikola Tesla. He immediately goes after Zuriel, taking him out as well. He only does manage to only get one pick with that Dragon Blade, but I'm happy with that Primal Rage just managed to take people out. Praise with that res, just managed to res 3 people there. The DP bomb does go out, doesn't quite manage to get anyone, unfortunately. Taunty with that Transcendence disactivate. He really wants to keep his team alive and hold on to this point even longer, and looks like they're able to do that.
Let's say Duzzle gets a second pulse bomb. Actually, does manage to demet Diva. And Keen is still holding on to the Tactical Visor here. They do pop Transcendence, so it looks like Green is going to commit to this push as Keen pushes on right on through here. He still has Tactical Visor and does not pop it just yet. However, Duzzles does get taken out in the back line, so it's going to be a little bit rough for Green. As Death Blossom does taken out, and Keen does get taken out by Death Blossom, and he was the only one holding the Tactical Visor here. And it's looking a little bit rough for Green as they have to regroup and try to push once again.
Yes, there's a few questionable ults coming out there. I wasn't really sure why the Zen Taunty, actually not Taunty, Zen for Green popped their Transcendence there. I know he was trying to keep his team alive, but most of his, 2 of his team members were already dead, so I'm kind of confused to why he thought he'd commit to that push. But otherwise, looks like they're going to have to regroup and push in as a team once again.
It looks like they are just pretty happy with just staying around, building on ults here, waiting for Nikola Tesla to get his ult. That's definitely their next big ult. And while it looks like Inapi is actually walking right on through here, not sure if they're committing or not as they're just dancing back and forth, but it looks like Green is finally pushing right on through here, as they do have Tracer and Genji in the backline looking for a play, and they both almost have ult, so I think Green's going to commit pretty soon here as Lucio's coming around ready to pop that sound barrier.
It looks like we are going to be seeing Nabi push onto point, but Zuriel is going to take him out with a really well-placed Helix Rocket. And Unlucky does finish out Zumu, and with those 2 picks, Green pushes over.
A little bit awkward push on through here. You kind of saw iNappy on the middle, just kind of taking damage from Discord and the rest of Yellow. And I thought they were going to jump on through here, and he did pop barrier as well, so I think there's a little bit of miscommunication for Green here, but I wouldn't sweat it too much as they still have a minute and a half left and have pretty much all their ults here, but they are going to have to be careful as Yellow is still holding on the res as well as Transcendence, so they are going to have to break these 2 defensive ults.
They are going to be pushing in with Sound Barrier as Taunty does activate his ultimate, completely negating Genji's as Nikola Tesla doesn't manage to get anyone. Duzzies unfortunately dies to his own Pulse Bomb as the Primal Rage is going to be popped for Winston here. Keaton does activate his attack visor, does manage to get one as Praise just solo reses Zuriel here just to try to finish off the point, trying to keep everyone alive and hold this defensive position a little while longer.
That was a pretty good hold, and Green still has a chance of pushing on through here, but it's going to be really hard since Yellow is holding on to the ult advantage as well as the position here, and while they did have the position before, Green had the tools to push on through with that Dragon Blade and that Sound Barrier, but without those 2 tools, it's going to be much harder to push on through against their backline of Yellow.
We are going to be seeing the Death Blossom come out from Unlucky Pally, as well as the Diva Bomb, and Zuriel popping his ult as well, so all the ults are going out. They really want to end this here and now. With 12 seconds left on the clock, INAP is in the back. He's with his Primal Rage. He's the only one there, however, and he does get taken out by Zuriel with a well-placed Helix Rocket. Keaton is the only one, and Tracer is the only one on this point, but they both get taken out immediately, and Overtime is going to be counting down, and take damage. It's taken out by Zuriel as well. Looks like this point is going to be in the hands of Yellow.
However, looks like Nikola Tesla on is the last one. He does get zapped in, but yeah, like we said before, Yellow is going to be taking this, and the match is complete as they take the map on Volskaya.
Really well played by Yellow there. Congratulations.
Green did a really good job of rotating on through, but it looks like Yellow this time around they managed to figure it out. You saw there when they push on through with Lucio, Yellow looked a lot more comfortable on the second point at least, when they had much more space or much less space to worry about. Whereas in the first point, Green was just able to rotate on three all willy-nilly since they had so much space and they had so much movement to work with. And as a result, it looks like Green was a little bit uncomfortable. with the space advantage that Yellow had, and Yellow just defended it really well, especially with that Reaper pick, getting a much more value on that close quarter defense. So overall, really good job by Yellow. Good job for adapting against Green.
Yeah, really good job by Yellow. Looks like Green kind of faltered there towards the second point. They didn't really figure out what to do. Is they kind of just kind of staggered almost towards the end, and especially on that second push, they were really unsure of what they should be doing. As Anapi just kind of jumped in there in the middle and just kind of took damage, and everyone just was really confused. I wasn't really sure what was going on, but unfortunately, they couldn't take it, and looks like Yellow was going to be taking it on Volskaya Industries. And next, we have one of the best maps, personally, of Overwatch, King's Row.
Oh my god, I can hear you smile over the mic. I see you really love Kings Row over here, which is good. But based on how you've seen these two teams play, how do you think Kings Row is going to play out?
How do I think the teams are going to play out? I really interested to see what these teams are going to be doing. I feel like each of these teams they're like 50-50. They're like 100% even for either side. And what really brings out the victory for either one is the way they coordinate and group up. Because as we saw in the Volskaya Industries match, we saw Green do a really nice job of taking that first point and immediately coming in, taking the first point. But on the second point, they were kind of floundering, to be honest, just a little bit. While Yellow did a really good job of taking that first point and then immediately got together and took that second point, and they managed to take out that first map.
One thing I want to see is how Yellow manages to defend in King's Row, since in King's Row there's less space to manage in other payload maps versus something like Route 66. So I really want to see if they're able to shine in areas such as like the corridor or the point before the second checkpoint. I want to see if they're able to defend against Green, since Green looks like they were really thriving with that mobile dive comp, and they were doing it really well and just abusing the space advantage. But when they got towards the close quarter type of defense, they kind of faltered a little bit and they got a little bit confused. So I would like to see how that plays out, see if it plays out in Yellow's favor, or if Green is able to figure out how to coordinate against Yellow and just take out the key targets before they're able to get in position.
And our next map, like I said, is going to be King's Row, and I can't wait to see what each of the teams pull out here. As we're seeing the teams kind of form together right now, looks like for Green, we are going to be seeing maybe Zumu on this Hanzo. This is all preliminary because we still have 15 seconds until it actually starts.
I would love to see Unlucky Pally actually try to run Reaper on this map again, since he was having pretty good success on the second point of Volskaya, and I think if he does play the same way he did in Volskaya, then I think Reaper could be a pretty good pick in King's Row as well, covering those high ground, covering the wraparound the first point, by just posting a Reaper up against Winston on any possible backline dive would be really powerful, since Winston can't really have much, doesn't really have much room to work with if they don't have a Lucio to rotate him out.
And as we see each team get into their defensive and offensive positions, we're going to be seeing what team comps they're going to be playing. For Zumu, like I said before, it looks like he's going to be staying on that Hanzo for attack. And on the side of Yellow, we're going to be seeing Unlucky Pally coming out with that Reaper. And I really think this Reaper pick is going to be good because usually, especially on King's Row, you're going to be running dive. And if they can halt Inapi in his tracks with that Reaper, he's going to be way less effective for that dive comp.
Looks like we have Yellow defending on here and kind of committing to defending on this high ground here. We see Lucky Pally on the side posting up the Reaper on the front run here, just waiting for tanks to dive on through. So Green has to be careful here, otherwise Yellow might be able to dive into this backline like he's doing right now, taking out Nikola Tesla, and Unlucky Pally gets a nice clean pick, and it's going to help Yellow's defense a lot.
Yes, and that Reaper doing work as both the picks go, most of the picks go in for Yellow as they're defending, but is in that backline, does manage to take out Taunty, but there really is no sustain for Green Team here. It looks like they're going to have to back up and regroup as Kaz is coming in the backline, but Duzzles is at their spawn right now, and it looks like he's trying to spawn camp Zenyatta.
Oh wow, that's really cheeky right now. He's doing a pretty good job though. As he does take out Santimura once again, and Yellow's gonna have to come back and get him though. But it looks like it'll be too late. As Duzzle does take out Zania once more. D.Va does get D-Mech from that pulse bomb, but however, it looks like Yellow does get a nice 3-man res out, and that's gonna effectively reset the fight here.
And yes, and Kaz is going to be having on 9 map. He does manage to take him out, but Duzzles is still in the back line, and yet again he takes out Taunty. I'm pretty sure Taunty's screaming at his team right now to take out the Spracer in their back line.
Yeah, Duzzle's doing a really good job right now, and well, however, Yellow is still defending on through without that Zenyatta. Well, Pomeroy just get popped here, and he's going to take out or push back at least the rest of Green. So Yellow, despite getting picked off here, they're doing a really good job of defending on through.
Yes, and even though the Zenyatta got basically staggered 3 times, they managed to secure and defend this point, but now takes damage, is going to be getting that Onapus, and Unlucky tries to get that Death Blossom, but immediately gets silenced by takes damage as the Sound Barrier does come out for Lucio here, trying to keep that sustain and hold on to this point. But Zuriel, with that tack visor, does manage to finish up Nikola Tesla as the Graviton Surge is going to be coming out for Green. Some of the picks aren't for Green at this point, as the Transcendence does get popped by Zenyatta here, as well as the Res, as they really want to stay on this point and contest. They don't really want to let this go.
However, it looks like the self-destruct does come on through here. Nikola Tesla still has Dragon Blades. It looks like he's gonna pop it. Trying to go against Winston here. Does chop him up finally. It looks like with Winston down, Yellow's gonna have a little bit of a hard time defending here. As D.Va does get D-Mech, and only Baby D.Va is left onto the Void, and she's gonna get finished off pretty handily. As Unlucky Pally gets anti-healed and gets taken out, and it looks like Green is going to be taking the first point.
Yes, I almost wanted to see, especially on the first point of King's Row, not dive straight away to try to hold another point. What I feel like should have happened was maybe they group up right at the edge of the point and then go in as a team right before it caps, instead of going in one after another and dying one after one.
Yeah, definitely. And while they were getting staggered against Zenyatta there, they were still doing a great job. So I think if they were able to gather around, they would have been good. Although, however, it looks like Winston is on the back here, trying to Primal Rage them off the point and just stalling as much as they can right now. Kazakh does manage to get out there alive and actually gets a nice pick off, but however, Graviton Surge does get popped as Green tries to go right on here. Gets a big pulse bomb, takes out both Soldier and Reaper, that got caught. However, 3-man res answers right back on, and it looks like the fight gets reset once again.
A really nice 3-man res there, basically eliminating those 2 uses of the Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb, which was a really nice trade. Looks like they're going to be stalling these guys as Kaz does hop into Green's backline and does manage to take out Keaton.
However, it looks like Green is pretty happy with just staying back and defending, while Lucio actually gets taken out with nice 2 headshots on the side of Taunty there. But yeah, Green is pretty happy with just staying back and building on ults here. And does get picked off against Soldier here. They still have the spawn advantage. Feeding a little bit of ults is bad, but they still have the spawn advantage, and they're still building on ults pretty well here. So if I were Green, I would just take my time over here.
Yes, I feel like they can push through. All they need to do is group up and push it onto this point, because Yellow is just right there. As we are going to seeing all the ults being popped out here, as the Ana boost does get boosted onto the Winston here, as he does do a lot of damage as well. All the picks are going in favor for Green, as they are gonna, looks like they're gonna be pushing this cart, but Kaz is not gonna try to have any of it, as he does activate his Primal Rage, but he's all by himself right now. All he's really doing is trying to stall as much time as possible with about 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock.
Looks like Kazakhs with the hops actually does manage to get away here, and like I said before, Green was able to push on through. They were just being very patient, and what's scary is that they still have their ults as well. So this corridor right here is going to be really tough. But Taunty doesn't even answer the Dragon Blade as well, so they just have to play his ults correctly if they want to take the point.
Looks like the Graviton Surge is going to be coming out, but Taunty, with a really well-timed Transcendence, is going to be stopping it entirely, as Slayer does activate his D.Va Bomb, and Unlucky also activating his Death Blossom, which gets Keaton, basically completely stopping this point, and most of the ults are traded, and only Praise still has ultimate.
And all of a sudden, green is going to have some trouble here pushing through corridor as these ults pretty much what they need to push on through with that sound barrier and nano boost. But if they don't have those ults, they're going to take a lot of damage on the way in, especially with Unlucky Pally on that Reaper just covering the corridor really well. So green's going to have a hard time pushing on through here, and they're going to have to find a pick if they want to go through corridor.
Looks like Duzzles tried to get a pulse bomb off and get one of the supports, but didn't really quite do it. He gets taken out by Taunty. And it looks like this is the last push for green as they get the nano boost in there. It's going to be going on to Winston. He's going to be diving into the opponent's front line here, trying to take Slayer out of his mech. Looks like they're going to be pushing around this corner with only Praise on the point right now, and Praise is really looking for that res, but he can't seem to find it because his team is dying way too spread apart from each other. And it looks like they're going to be contesting back and forth. Praise does manage to find his dual res there. He does res 2 people, and at this point, they're just fighting back and forth.
Yeah, looks like we have iNappy trying to take out Praise though. He didn't have here to use ult, so there is no threat of Guardian Angel. However, green is still going off here as both Nano Boost, Dragon Blade, and Pulse Bomb goes off and takes out both DPS. And yellow is with 4 man down. They're still pushing on through, and green's gonna have to take this first. Green's gonna take the second checkpoint pretty successfully here.
Yeah, the fight was long and drawn out, and it allowed green to get their ultimates back and use them and push in before yellow could.
However, green is a little bit short on ults here when they're coming on through. However, they do have Graviton Surge on deck. While they don't have the combo pieces like Pulse Bomb or Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge itself is going to help with them push on through. One thing to note though is that Transcendence is up, so if he does put Graviton Surge, it's going to get covered immediately by Transcendence.
Looks like iNappy did pop his Primal Rage there. He really went after the supports, but he didn't quite manage to take any of them out, as Slayer is yet again pulse bombed by Tracer there. Looks like the boost is going to be going on to take damage this time, but Taunty, with that Transcendence, just negates both of those ultimates entirely. And it looks like the Primal Rage is also getting popped for the side of yellow as he's going after their supports. It's about 24 seconds left as Kaz finishes off Keaton.
So we have Primal Rage still onto the point. It finally gets expires here. iNappy still on the point trying to take them out, but Kazakh is also answering back, taking out iNappy onto the point, also zapping Genji as well. But however, yellow is holding on to res, so if green's gonna have to push on through here, they're gonna have to drop the beat and then go for Mercy immediately.
We are going to be seeing Nikola Tesla using that Dragon Blade, does manage to finish off Zuriel. The Graviton Surge is back, and Taunty doesn't have any Transcendence to block it this time, and he does get taken out. But Praise is just sitting up there waiting for the res, and he does manage to res both Zuriel and Taunty again. Unlucky does get unluckily sleep, unfortunately. Looks like all the picks are going in for yellow as green is holding on to their dear lives right now. They really want to secure this point, but Praise actually takes out Keaton, which is also pretty funny. And looks like they're going to be holding on to this point, at least for now.
Look, iNappy there at the end actually died with Primal Rage not activated, but looked like in the long run it didn't really matter as the rest of his team was going to get wiped out shortly after. It's a little bit unfortunate there, but green did a really good job of pulling through. It looked like it was looking really dark for them as corridor, when they lost that corridor fight before the second checkpoint, they didn't really have the ults to push on through, especially with Unlucky Pally on Reaper, but looks like they came on through with again their Tracer play, just finding that Mercy, and well, although they did die in the beginning, they managed to push on through by wrapping around the left alley there. So great job for green, despite losing the fight and despite losing their ults, they were able to find the picks they needed to push on through.
Yeah, really well played for green there, as well as well played for yellow. They both played phenomenally on King's Row. And we are going to be seeing what each team is going to be playing in a second here. And for attack, we are going to be seeing Unlucky Pally on Widowmaker and Zuriel on Hanzo. So we're going to be seeing double snipers coming out for Yellow, who is on attack line.
And you are looking as lovely
And
as
while the Hanzo pick might not be a reality, it might just be a Sonic Arrow and then, you know, swap right off. I would like to see if they are able to pull off a Widow here on the first point, since I really like seeing Widows on 2 CP maps on the first point, since it's really good tech to get a first pick, and even if it doesn't work out, it's not too punishing as you're able to just swap off and build ult if it doesn't work out in the first few times. But if it does work out, it's going to be big, especially in King's Row. If you do manage to get the first point, you can still steamroll through by using Widow on the porch and get Corridor pretty much for free by getting that sight line. So if Widow works out on yellow side immediately, then they're going to steamroll right on through, at least past Corridor.
And we are underway with about 4 minutes remaining in the match. We're going to be seeing Yellow push on through past this choke, and we're going to be seeing Green take the defensive position around the Rhine shield. And we are going to be seeing Slayer Electric on that high ground with Kaz going straight on in, going straight after the Reinhardt here, who is really, it's really hard to answer a dive with a Reinhardt, as a Lucky gets a pick he needs on that Widowmaker, does finish off Nikola Tesla, who is the only really counter to Winston right now. But Nappy does manage to finish off Taunty here, and looks like the picks are basically in favor for both teams at this point, as they're really trading, as Kaz is in the back line with Praise basically pocketing him. He's really trying to go after that Ana. Doesn't quite manage to take her out, however, as he has to drop back.
It looks like Green is drawing on back though, but they're finally trying to push as they do have all their ults. With Tactical Advisor getting popped on the side of Green here, and they're trying to take Reaper out, but doesn't manage to get anyone in here. However, damage is done though, as Zuriel is trying to push on through the side, but is getting defended off by Duzzles on the other soldier, and Green's doing a really good job defending on through here against his dive comp.
Yeah, really good job for Green there. They really held their ground, especially when that Kaz dived their backline. They knew exactly what to do. They protected their supports, and they managed to focus down Kaz, so he had to back down.
It's going to be really dangerous to push on through here, as Green does have Nano Boost and Earth Shatter on deck. Nano Boost did get popped on the Zarya, and it looks like they are going to defend pretty well. However, Unlucky Pally gets a nice pick on Zarya, but Zenwu gets a nice 2-man res, and the 2-man res from the side of Yellow to answer back, and the fight is reset.
And Praises also gets a 2-man res, but Unhappy is there with the hammer down to immediately push him back, and it looks like Yellow's going to have to back up here and regroup, as Duzzles does manage to take out Unlucky Pally as well, but he's going to be staggered.
However, they have Zuriel in the back, trying to get a cheeky play on a Reinhardt. However, he is getting punished on against Duzzles here, as Duzzles manages to protect the Advisor, takes out Baby Diva, as well as taking out Winston here as well with that double kill. Green is going to be defending this for a little while longer.
Really nice cleanup attack visor as Duzzles there. He really just wanted to clear people out from the point and try to completely reset them, so his team, Green, could get back and completely get back in like good defensive positions.
Well, we don't really see Reinhardt in the meta as much as we used to. Green is playing this really well with the Reinhardt setup, and the position in the back here is really good against King's Row. But hold that thought though, as Winston tries to dive on and hit against Mercy.
Yeah, Kaz does dive in, and they don't get him fast enough as both supports fall down to Zuriel and Winston, and with both supports down, Yellow basically has this point in the back.
Oh, looks like Take Damage was holding on the Graviton Surge there, but unfortunately, he did just give it up there. But that was probably the smart choice, as Green does have the combo of Graviton Surge and Death Blossom, and that's going to be really useful, especially defending against this corridor where that combo is going to be really nice to pull off.
Definitely, and we're not going to be seeing Green trying to take defensive position right in front of the archway here, but we are going to be seeing him hang back a little bit more, as Unlucky Pally is in that back line trying to focus down those supports, trying to keep the focus away from the point and more focus on him, as we see Slayer also diving in with Kaz, as they're both trying to get in the back line. And we are going to be seeing Unlucky Pally get a really nice pulse bomb off on Takes Damage with Duzzles, who did pop Tag Visor, but it gets completely nullified again by Taunty, who is on that Zenyatta.
Wow, that was a really beautiful defense by Yellow there. You see it takes damage trying to get the Graviton Surge, but gets taken out instantly. But we also had Nikola Tesla try to come in with Death Blossom as well, but that actually got negated instantly as well with Taunty using that Transcendence. And Green pretty much got all their ults stuffed, and as a result, Yellow just came on through. So really great job for Yellow there for stopping all of Green's defense answers there.
Really well played by Yellow. They knew exactly what they needed to do in order to keep pushing that point. They went after the right people, and it looks like it was really hard for Green to answer. I mean, right now they're only running. They're running a Zarya and a Diva as a takedown. They got rid of that Reinhardt. Maybe they need another Winston to try to jump in that backline, but it's getting way too late because the point is right here. Zuriel with that attack visor just managed to spin out in nap, but as the Graviton Surge comes out, doesn't quite manage to get anyone out. As Zumu uses that res along with Praise, Zumu gets a two-man while Praise only gets one. As Zuriel does use that res as an opportunity to take out Zumu, and picks are going back and forth right now as the point is so close to being capped.
Well, Nikola Tesla does pop Death Blossom. Death managed to take out 3, but Unlucky Pally does manage to take him out. And Yellow is trying to close this out as soon as possible here, but looks like Green is still defending. But however, Unlucky Pally is going off right now, taking out both 2 and maybe possibly backline as well. However, Tactical Visor does get popped and takes damage. Is trying to get on the point, and he has Nano Boost as well to save him, but unfortunately, Kazakh hits everyone off the point, and Green manages to take the checkpoint.
Final score. 3.
Really well played by both teams there. It was I really loved seeing ults come out from both sides, especially for Yellow, because what they did, they knew exactly what they needed to do, knew exactly what ults they needed to play at the exact times, especially towards that middle there. Usually teams get stuck right after they cap that first point, but Yellow went in, especially using Kaz, who was on Winston, and Slayer on that Diva to their advantage, as well as Unlucky, because they dived in at their spawn, and they knew exactly what to do to keep them occupied in order to push that cart and get that extra push they needed to cap.
Yeah, and like you said before, Green had a really hard time answering Yellow. Especially, it looked really good for Green's defense there at the end when they had the Graviton Surge and the Reaper Death Blossom as well. But Yellow was just coordinated, and they managed to get the picks they needed, and they managed to get the counter ults off when they needed as well. So really good job by Yellow there for getting those off and coordinating really well in a pretty tight King's Row game.
And with that, we are going to be taking a few minute break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more All-Stars games.
to move.
Welcome back to the All Stars Roundup. This is going to be the last match, and our first map, excuse me, is going to be on Hanamura.
And if you guys are just tuning us in, Yellow was going up against Team Green, and they won 2-0 against them, finishing off in King's Row. And like Kabuk said, we're going to be starting things off in Hanamura first, with Green on defense and Purple on offense.
And we're about to get underway in about 5 seconds right now. So let's take a look at the team lineups. For Purple on attack, we're going to be seeing that Pharmacy come out from Chouani. I think that's how you say his name. And Sleepy, we're going to be on that Far Mercy. We're also going to be seeing Lime, who was playing Sombra earlier. We're going to be seeing him playing Sombra again for attack.
And how do you think Sombra has been working out on in the hands of Lime Drop so far, based on what we've seen?
He's been doing okay. I would like him to do a little bit more here and there, but it really depends on what I see what I will see in this match.
Attack commences in
Well, yeah, definitely. One thing to note on the offense side is that Fire Mercy is really good up against the plays such as Mei over here. But however, Keaton is actually going to be taking the roof of the shrine right here. And this is actually a really good spot to go up against Fire Mercy, since you're just able to get pretty much on the same level as Fire Mercy and can easily take out the Mercy or the Pharah if they do decide to dive up under the point. He's gonna have to watch out for Pharah to boop him off, but overall, this is a really good spot for Keaton to be in, and Purple's gonna have to be careful if they want to dive in on that side.
And it looks like we are underway as the Far Mercy is going straight at it, trying to lob some rockets into the choke, and it looks like they're not going to be taking any seconds to waste, as we're going to be seeing Naughty Fly immediately diving with Winston, but he gets taken out by Papa de Panda. And looks like all the picks are going to be in favor of Green, with Zumu doing tremendous damage on that Hanzo.
Zuma's doing a really good job on Hanzo so far right now. And on the side of Soldier there, you see the power of Keaton on that high ground. While he didn't get too many kills there, he did manage to fend off Far Mercy and pretty much level her down. And as a result, Purple can get the max effectiveness of the Far Mercy they'd like to be. And Zuma there getting a really nice arrow and Lime Drop, and it's going to stagger Purple a little bit more as well.
We are, and looks like Far is also going to be falling down to Chantry, who is on that Zenyatta, and Winston is just going after, taking no prisoners as they're going past the choke and just completely destroying Purple. They have no answer to that.
Yeah, and Purple is losing a lot of ground here. However, they do have EMP online right here, so if Lime Drop is able to push on through the choke here and get an EMP off, then Purple should be able to safely push on through without having to worry about things such as Primal Rage and Dragon coming out from Hanzo as well. So it's going to be up to Lime Drop to see if he can make the plays here.
Looks like EMP is going to be coming straight out, getting a lot of green here. The Transcendence is going to be popped by Zenyatta, who is on green team, as far as doing work, managing to take out Hanzo early, and now he's going to be focusing on Soldier. Looks like Purple has made it past the choke, and they're going to be pushing in here, as Keaton does activate that Tactical Visor, does manage to finish off Sleepy, as well as Haraku, who is on that Lucio, and looks like they're going to be trying to defend this point.
Looks like we have Joey on the backline trying to take out Soldier. He manages to do it. However, Winston's in the line here, getting zapped, and Tanti manages to finish him off. It looks like we have self-destruct getting popped onto the point, but it's not going to be enough, as Rosella actually gets a solo man res on Keaton, and Green is going to sleep. However, Sleepy does come in and get a 2-man res as well, and the fight is definitely reset. And Purple is looking like they're going to try to go for the point once more.
As the sound barrier does come out for Purple, they really want to finish this and take the first point in one fell swoop, as Mercy does fall from Hawan. Right after Zenyatta finishes his Transcendence, he does activate his ult there and does end up taking him out. Looks like all the picks are going in for Purple here. We are going to be seeing them take it, as Naughty Fly does finish off Papa de Panda.
And Joey actually made the really big play there of booping off both Mercy and Hanzo, and as well as getting a pick onto Zenyatta with that Rocket Barrage as well, and then demeching D.Va as well. So Joey made the huge plays there of getting 3 kills and demeching D.Va, and that's what Purple really needed to push on through there. Even though they did get a nice res, and they did manage to get a nice EMP off, they were running out of resources, and so Joey really needed to make the plays there so that his team can survive.
We did see Sombra push in for a split second, but she did just go right back out, as Tauntry does manage to finish off Farah there. And with one person down, they need to wait and regroup.
And let's say Purple is going to regroup here soon. And Lime Drop's going to have to do the same thing he did before in Plate 1, where he pushes on through and pops an EMP to make way for his team. However, well, one ult that's really concerning though is this Dragon on on Zimu here, but if he's not able to TMP that, then he's gonna have a hard time pushing through.
We are going to be seeing the EMP come out from Sombra as Winston immediately jumps onto there, as at the same time he activates Primal Rage. The Diva Bomb is coming out the center of the point, but it doesn't get anyone as the attack visor is going to be popped for Soldier here, and he's not going to be getting any picks. Banani Fly does manage to finish him off.
It looks like a self-destruct does get popped onto the point. Doesn't manage to get anyone, but that's enough to give him space. Zimu is still holding on to his dragon here. Hasn't popped it yet, interestingly enough, and it looks like they're defending pretty well though, as Purple does lose Mercy. However, they're not over yet. Hikaru is popping Sound Barrier to try to take the point once more.
And Trentinton does get popped by Zenyatta here, as he's really trying to hold on to this point, as Winston does manage to come back, and he does manage to take off Nanifly, who's also Winston. And after finishing off Lucio, they got this point in the bag, at least for now.
And Zimu's actually still holding on to the dragon. We still haven't seen him pop that dragon yet. It would have been nice to see that dragon to get popped when they pushed on the top right side, but overall he's been doing a really good job as Hanzo here, getting pretty good sky arrows and giving the vision for his team.
Definitely, and looks like Papa Panda went a little too far and was a little too alone, as he does manage to get finished off by Sombra here, as looks like Purple team is going to be pushing up with Sombra dropping on point.
And it looks like Team Purple did manage to take the high ground there on the top. We still have Fire and Mercy going onto the point, trying to go for the backline, but actually gets melted instantly, and Joao gets taken out. That's going to be a rough start for Purple.
As Sleepy does manage to solo res far here when the Devo does get popped down on point. There was those dragons we've been talking about. Don't quite manage to get anyone, as picks up going back and forth right now.
A little bit of cool play there of Joey juggling Mercy and then actually popping Rocket Barrage in the air. We have takes damage, trying to go on Mercy here. Not holding on the Guardian Angel, so not any threat of that, but he's just trying to get rid of that healing threat as soon as possible here. Sleepy almost dying here, eventually does get taken out and takes damage, gets out pretty safely. And off the back of that, it looks like Green's going to be defending this successfully.
Really well played by Green there. Even though Purple keeps pushing it time after time again, Green manages to hold on to the point and using the ult sparingly and strategically and able to secure it.
So what do you think about this Purple so far, especially the line drop on that Sombra? Do you think it's effective? Do you think they should switch it up? What do you think so far?
I feel like the line drop, even though he's getting those EMPs out and he's EMPing a lot of people using his ultimates, I feel like they might need to change up the Sombra and maybe switch it up. They might be a little low on damage right now, we are going to be pushing, we are going to be seeing Purple push in onto the point here as Papa Panda does manage to finish off Naughty Fly. And without their main tank, who is Winston, they're going to need to regroup as well. But not before Farr does manage to take out Mercy there. So without their main healer for the defensive side, they're going to have a hard time sustaining. But their spawn's right there, so I feel like she's gonna get back pretty quickly. As we're not really seeing any action right now. It's kind of just trading back and forth, and the AMP is gonna be popped out. And as soon as the AMP is popped, the Transcendence is popped as well. As Soundbearer is gonna be going out for a Purple with Keaton using that Death Blossom. Unfortunately, he does get booped into Piatru, who's on Lucio, and he does take him out. Looks like that ult is both Diva ults are gonna be ulting on point, as Dorito Push does finish off two people, but Rose on that Mercy does manage to res them. We are gonna see that Rocket Barrage get two separate people here with Keaton on that Reaper. He does also finish off one of their supports. We see a Primal Raging Winston on point trying to push people away, try to get as much as possible as he can, but takes damage, is not having any of it. He activates his Primal Rage. He's trying to push people off this point, trying to get that overtime to fall down, and that's exactly what he does. Round one is complete. Well played by both teams.
Yeah, they played really well there. It was getting pretty close, especially towards the end when they didn't have the backline to back them up at the end there to heal them. But looks like they managed to pull on through and did a really good job of pushing.
Yeah, really well played by both teams there. Especially with that Primal Rage, he was able to knock off most of, well, all of the purple team, so that overtime could count down. So really effective use of the primal rage there. I wouldn't have used it any better.
And just spacing in general, they did a really good job there, especially with that Fire Mercy. Did a lot more work than I thought it would. So overall, their spacing and their coordinating those ultimates, as well as diving onto the backline, played really well.
Definitely. And as we approach the next round here, we're going to be seeing both teams do the relatively the same thing here. Line drop is still going to be on that Sombra. Even though I feel like he's doing some work, I feel like if he changed off and switched to another hero, he would be more effective with it. And we look onto the other team here, Green. We are going to be seeing Zumu on that Far and Rose on that Mercy. So we're going to be in a Far Mercy on defense, which could go pretty well if Purple can't go against it and completely defend and can't if they can't hold on to it. And if we look in about 10 seconds, we're going to be starting here shortly. So let's see what how Green is going to be attacking on this first point. I expect Winston to jump on the top here to the right where Diva's standing right now.
Attack commencing.
And we are going to be underway here as Sombra is going to be going behind as he tries to get an early pick. Papa DePanda is going straight in for that top line. But with Zumu, they really want to finish this off. This takes damage, just like I said. It's going to be taking that high ground, and Fight's going to be taking out there. Keaton is going to be on that soldier. Take 2 picks for Green, and that's what they might need to push in. It looks like they're kind of getting pushed back right now, but Zumu is still behind them. It looks like they're going to be pushing in here. Takes damage, coming straight onto point, finishing off Naughty Fly. And it looks like this point's going to be taken for Green. They had a really nice push in. It was really well coordinated and takes damage. Just going ham right now, taking one after another.
Yeah, take damage really well there. That was a really fast take by Green. The Zimu was doing the work in the backline there, especially since he really stopped Sleepy and Hikaru from doing what they needed to do. And while Purple did managed to rotate pretty cleanly in, Green was just really fast at taking out their backline, and looks like they're still gonna keep up the speed as they push on through the middle here. As the subject does get popped, actually does take out Joey. Keaton on the high ground, taking out Tactical Visor, taking out Hikaru instantly. No one's really answering him, but however, Winston does try to answer him, but gets taken out by Zimu again. And it looks like the rest of Green is still trying to push on through, as Purple is 2 people down, and Green manages to take the second point handily and takes Hanamura as well.
Really well played by Green. I don't think Purple realized that they only had to take a small little section of that because the Diva was right next to it, but she didn't get on it. So unfortunately, she didn't touch it in time. And Green wins the Hanamura. Really well played by both teams.
Play of the match.
And Joey there on that Faro was doing the work, especially towards the end where he just was relentless. I think it's actually the first point. So right here, he did boop off both Mercy and Hanzo. Kind of funny looking here. Also does manage to take out Zenyatta on that Transcendence, and also DMX Diva as well. And that's what they really needed to push on through, since they were running out of resources on that first point. So really good job for Joey on that Faro. Definitely well deserved.
Yes, definitely. Really well played by Far there. Definitely.
Epic.
And what did you think about that last game, Feeney, as a whole?
Overall, it was a pretty good game. I was a little bit surprised that Green was able to take that really fast at the very end there, but I think Purple was a little bit caught off by how aggressive their Pharah and their soldier could be, and once Green kind of just bullied them off to the point and onto the high ground, then it was pretty much over. So Green did a really good job in the positioning angle, just taking what they need and going against the backline.
Definitely. And now we're going to be seeing our next map, which is going to be Lijiang Tower. So this is going to be a different map. It's not going to be 2CP. It's going to be Control. So it really depends on what kind of team counts we're going to be running here. Usually, we see more of a dive on control points, right, Feeney?
Yeah, definitely. Especially on control points, like you said, since it's really nice to not have to worry about like a moving play area space, and you can just coordinate a little bit easier that way. So if you do, we are going to see some dive on Li Zhang. We might see Roadhog here, but he's definitely gotten a lot less popular after the nerf. But overall, we're definitely going to be seeing Winston, maybe Genji, Tracer, and Lucio for sure as well.
Definitely, and of course you're right. As when that Roadhog nerf, Roadhog's use just took a dive down to the bottom of the sea floor because no one's playing him right now. He is extremely weak.
It's kind of interesting to see though, since you see a lot of professional players actually. Some of them actually really like Roadhog changes based on like how they play them. So it's kind of interesting that a lot of people say that he's nerfed, but a lot of professional players really like him as well.
Yes, I really feel like before Roadhog was really easy to play. I mean, he was a one-shot kill if you got that hook. But now he requires a little bit more finesse, a little bit more skill. So I can see why a lot of pro players who play this game for a living like the new Roadhog, because he does require that skill. And once you take advantage of that and you get used to that higher skill tier required to play him effectively, you can probably do some work on him.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like both teams are going to be running some sort of Fire Mercy here. We saw Green running Fire Mercy pretty successfully with Joey on that Pharah and Sleepy on that Mercy, but we did see Zumu and Rosina did some work on the purple side, but overall, how do you feel has a stronger Fire Mercy in this matchup?
I feel like it's pretty even, but I am kind of leaning towards... I feel like I am leaning towards Zumu just a tiny bit because he was doing so much work on Hanamura that last game.
Yeah, definitely. And this the space is going to be really important here, especially on the roof, since they don't really have any answers on the green side. So this Fire Mercy is going to have to be really successful. But it looks like we're going to have Zimu coming right in and takes out Sleepy instantly, and that's going to start off really well for Green here.
Looks like the picks are going back and forth, however, as most of Green is going to be on this point, as Purple is desperately trying to contest, as takes damage, tries to hop on, but doesn't quite manage to stay on there, as looks like Keaton is the only really one on there, with Papa to Panda out of Diva Mech and not really able to do anything.
Yeah, it looks like Joey is going off, taking out both Zimu and Keaton on that Pharah and Soldiers respectively, and it looks like Purple's going to be taking this pretty handily. Looks like they're going to be playing this forward defense that a lot of teams have been really liking lately, and it's going to work. I think it's going to work out really well for them, especially if they're going to have Fire Mercy covering the choke and Nightfly pushing them back into the choke as well. So it's going to be hard for Green to break out through here, but it looks like they have it figured out as they both teams take trades and trying to push onto the point right now.
Yeah, both teams trading up for each other, so it is a 5v5 right now. And it looks like that Fire Mercy for the side of Green isn't really getting shot at all, and they're just flying around and doing damage. And we are going to see that Transcendence come out for the side of Green. They are going to be pushing on to the point. And we're going to be also seeing that self-destruct for Purple does manage to take off Rose, and she was close to ult Res there as well, with Blind Drop activating that Pulse Bomb, taking out Zen there, but Zumu is doing work on that Pharah, does manage to take out 2 as well. As you see the Sound Barrier come out with Keaton trying to activate his Tactical Visor, but immediately gets taken out by Harwana, who's doing work on that Pharah right now.
Unfortunately, actually, Sleepy actually did get taken out there at the end, and she was holding on the Guardian Angel, but looks like it wasn't really needed, as Joaoia was doing a lot of work. And Hikaru again with a nice Sound Barrier as well, covering the Tactical Visor immediately, and Green really didn't have the resources to push on through. They had Tactical Visor, but once that got covered up, it was over. But however, it looks like Green's trying to push on through again. While they are holding on to Rez and Rocket Barrage as well, they might be able to push on through here.
Looks Papa Panda is going to be activating his Diva Bomb there. It's not going to be getting anyone, but Huana's doing work, takes out Rose yet again, who had Resurrection. She won't be able to res her teammates back, as Naughty Fly is going off on Winston, using his combo rage to take out 2 people, as all the picks are in favor of Purple right now, as they're approaching 100% on this point, and they do manage to take the first round.
Yeah, that was really rough for Green there, since they definitely needed a push, but they really didn't have the resources to go on through there, because they already used Tactical Visor as well as Rocket Barrage in the last fight, and they didn't really have the firepower to push on through against Purple's team, especially when Naughty Fly was holding on Primal Rage, and Juawea was not really getting taken care of on the side of green. And looks like we do have Keaton. While he was on the soldier, he wasn't able to take care of purple since there was no front line for him to get covered against. However, it looks like we do see green making the switch to Lucio, and I think that's a really good switch. It's going to help them rotate a lot faster, and it's also going to help them react against the Far Mercy a lot better as well. So overall, I think this Tanti on Lucio is going to be much better for green.
We are going to be seeing the match go underway now. In about 23 seconds, the point is going to be unlocking. They're going to be pushing on there. As Far Mercy is coming out from both sides, both Winstons activate their bubble, pushing in there, respectively for each team. As Takes Damage is going to be trying to jump on, and all the picks are going for purple right now. But Sleepy does manage to get taken out by Zoo, but line drop on that doing phenomenal work on that Tracer right now. As unfortunately, Juana just managed to take himself out as well as Rose, but this point is in the hands of purple, but they have to cap it first.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward there, but they did manage to cap it, and then the point is actually officially theirs. Green was not really making good use of their Lucio, as they kind of just pushed on through onto the choke point, but they didn't rotate with the Lucio, and as a result, they kind of got picked off one by one. But however, it looks like they did learn their lesson now, as Winston's diving on through and trying to push against Purple's backline right away.
Looks like Winston just drives straight in there. They really want to get into this point and start contesting, as the both Winstons are fighting it out right now, trying to see who's the more dominant Winston, as Keaton does manage to finish off Far there. Looks like Green has the advantage right now, as they do have a man up on purple as they're pushing out of this point, as Tackle Visor, Diva Ultimate, and Primal Rage go out all at the same time, as Keaton does manage to take out as Pulse Bomb, really well played Pulse Bomb online, takes out 2, and it basically keeps this point in the hands of purple.
That was a great Pulse Bomb there from Line Drop. His Tracer has been really phenomenal so far. In my opinion, a little bit better than the Sombra play, but definitely that Pulse Bomb pretty much kept him onto the point, because Keaton was doing a lot of work with that Tactical Visor. Actually stopped Hikaru's Sound Barrier as well, and it was a little bit troubling for Purple, but that Pulse Bomb pretty much helped him stay in the fight. And Joey actually gets a nice boop on Keaton, and Green still pushing on through without this Soldier, and this push is pretty much over for them already, as Joey poops 2 off to the point, but looks like Green's gonna commit as Takes Damage pops back to our Primal Rage here.
See, I don't see why Takes Damage activated Primal Rage there. He saw the kill feed, he knew both of his team members had died. Maybe it was a miscommunication to go in or not go in, but unfortunately he completely wasted that ultimate.
Yeah, man, it looks like they're gonna have to push in without Primal Rage here, as they definitely need something to push on the choke, but however, it looks like Sound Barrier is gonna push and Green's gonna have to really take it here, but it looks like Rocket Bros gets popped on Roselia and it actually gets taken now, and the rest of Green did not see it. And as a result, Purple is still fighting on through here. However, Tanti does take out Sleepy as well, and it's pretty evenly sided despite the ult disadvantage. And it looks like Green is not ready to give up just yet.
Yeah, and looks like Diva ult is going to be popped out. Managing to get Papa Panda out of his mech, and all the picks are in for Purple right now. All they need to do is clear him off, as Rose gets that solo res. He was desperate to try to get there. They really want to contest. They don't want to let up this point, as the Winston is back on their take damage, trying to hold on to this point. Lucio just trying to wall ride, trying to keep away from everyone as possible, but they both get taken out, and this second point is going to be going to Purple yet again.
A great defense there by Purple. Green really needed to coordinate their pushes there. Not only did the Primal Rage get popped in an awkward time, also from the last match, like Tactical Visors and other offensive ults got popped at, it looks like an inappropriate time, since there's really no team to back them up. So if Green wants to come back here, they're really going to have to coordinate their ultimates. Otherwise, Purple is going to keep doing what they're doing, which is kiting against them and coordinating their not only their ults, but as well as their pickoff as well. Because they've been coordinating really well with Line Drop and Naughty Fly, with that Winston Tracer combo going against the backline, and Green looks like they just don't have an answer for it just yet.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last round of Purple gets it, so Green has to get together and take this first round, otherwise it's all over for them.
And it looks like we have a Tracer trying to come around here, but looks like Winston's going to come on the back and trying to push against them, but unfortunately he's going to get Doesn't get taken out actually, but Resilient Lucio is going to be a big pick, and Purple is going to have a hard time coming back here without that Lucio.
And all the picks are going back and forth for each team right now as the point finally unlocks itself, and it looks like Green has the momentum here to take the point.
Yeah, and it looks like Green took the point, and this is exactly what they needed to come back in this game, since it was really rough for them to push on through against this coordinated Purple team. But capping this point, and especially capping the high ground as well as the ledge on the left side, is going to be really nice for them, and that's going to force Purple to rethink their strategy.
My ultimate is almost ready.
And it looks like Purple's going to need to, like you said, Feeney, readjust their strategy here as they're getting bottlenecked almost in this choke right now. Maybe they need to push somewhere else if they really want to take advantage of that. Looks like Naughty Fly is looking to jump in right now with Dorito Purge, as both teams are trying to fight at this choke right now.
Let's say Lime Drop almost has Pulse Bomb, as it looks like they're going to count on him to make the play here, as he does almost have Pulse Bomb, but however, it doesn't manage to have the recall here. Goes in the back line, actually throws the Pulse Bomb, and does manage to get damage on Winston, but does not manage to take him out. And looks like Keaton is going off right now, taking out 2 people on the side of Purple, and it's going to be really rough for them to come back from this.
But Sleepy, with that res, the 3-man res, that's what they need to take back the point. But Soundbearer does activate for the side of Green, but Purple has momentum right now, but Green is just starting to come back. Lucio's wall riding the heck right now. He's really trying to hold on to that point. This point is still in for Green. They're about 70% right now, 21%, and they'll take it as the Diva ult does come out from Purple.
And Purple is doing a really good job coming back on the back of that Sleepy Red. We have Joey on the back, still holding on the Tactical Visor, looking to deploy in the backline here, but Primal Rage is stopping them from doing so. And it looks like, well, Purple is still trying to come back. Green is not yet ready for the fight. However, Sunberry does get popped here, and it might be looking bad for Green.
Ian, the point is 95 away. 5 more to get locked. As Keaton does activate his Tactical Visor. Men's team take out Holan, who had Tactical Visor, as Lime does activate his Pulse Bomb there. Just get 2 kills, as looks like Purple has the momentum here to maybe take back this point, but I'm not too sure.
Oh, that was really unfortunate there on the side of Green, as Zemo was actually right behind Mercy, but unfortunately could not take him out. And it looks like Purple is going to heal right back up and take this point here. We do have Resilient trying to get on the point, trying to wall ride back up, but it looks like Purple's going to take it back. However, it's going to be rough for Purple though, as they are going to have to defend 199 here, so they are going to have to defend the whole time. However, Green doesn't really have the ults to push on through, so I think Purple is pretty comfortable for a little bit longer, but they're going to have to worry about takes damage coming in for a Primal Rage, as well as a Self-Destruct coming from the top as well.
Looks like Green is going to be pushing with Winston, going to be dropping onto that high ground there. He really wants to take the high ground for his team, as he really is focusing down the Diva right now. High Noon is going to be coming out from Zumu, but gets negated by Diva's defense matrix, and she's going to be popping her ult. Doesn't quite manage to take out anyone, but there is a trade with Lambdop using his Pulse Bomb, with Soundbarrier coming out from Purple's side, as they have to get on this point, otherwise they're going to get capped.
Yeah, and they need to get on this point right now. However, Tactical Visor does get the foot in the back, and Self-Destruct doesn't get popped. They actually manages to take out Naughty Fly, and Green is still coming in here, as takes damage, still onto the point with Primal Rage. Soundbarrier actually does cover the rest of Green, and they are going to be holding on to this point a little bit longer, while the rest of Green comes on through here. We have McCree still coming back onto the point, but it looks like Keaton is onto the point right now. He has Tactical Visor, doesn't deploy just yet, he's trying to demech, but I don't know if he's going to get too much done here, as Diva needs to get demeched, and it looks like Green is going to have to opt to retreat rather than keep pushing on through.
Looks like they have maybe 2 quick pushes or 1 well-planned push here, as the point is approaching 80% and only 20 more percent needed. Looks like they're going to have 1 push here, as they're going to need to hop on now if they want to contest.
They do have the slight ult advantage here, but it looks like Dorito Purge does have the ult, so Tactical Visor does get popped, and this is going to be the last fight of the game.
And Tactical Visor does get popped. Keaton does get 2 kills with it. Primal Rage comes out from both Winstons. Flippy does solo res Koan there. They need everyone they can get to hold on to this point, as Zenyatta does activate his Transcendence as well, and this point's going to be going into overtime.
Looks like Sombra does get popped in the back. Joel, we had popped the point tactical advisor. Diva wasn't there to cover it, and actually as a result, both supports get taken out. And what Diva actually does get demeched here. Now the damage is already done as tactical advisor already takes out both supports on the side of green, and looks it's looking really good for purple without those two supports.
And without those two supports, it looks like purple's going to be winning this round as well.
Yeah, and that was a really good tactical advisor by Juawi. It was unfortunate that Papa Panda wasn't able to cover the tactical advisor, since he just wasn't watching it at that one moment, and as a result, he already just took out both supports, and purple just steamrolled through on the back of those two picks. So great job for Juawi, and it was unfortunate that Papa wasn't able to cover it there.
We saw a really good play by Tracer there, lime drop on that Tracer. He did really well on that point that they showed. Managed to get those 3 kills in that play of the game there. So really well done for lime drop, and well done for everyone who was on both teams there. Really well played.
And it looks like we're just about done here. We wrapped it up on Lijiang there, with purple taking it up against green, and it did manage to go up, take those 2 maps as well. And I think that's about it for tonight. I think out of those 3 teams, everyone played everybody, since we are on round robin, and I think that's all the matches we have for tonight, if I'm correct, Kabooks.
Yes, I think you are correct. I think that was every single match, since it was round robin, if I can say it right. Everyone played everyone, and really good matches to cast and watch. So thank you for everyone who's watching our stream. If you guys want to catch more of our streams, follow us here or on Twitter at OW University. We also stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. BST for our EU games, and at 6 p.m. CDT for our NA games. With that, I'm Kabooks, and thank you for watching. Okay, we are back. Wow, I am so embarrassed right now. Feeney was trying to message me and tell me that our games were not over, and I apologize. There's something wrong with my head right now. I am way too tired.
All good. So our last map is going to be actually on Dorado, and both teams are tied up 1-1 right now, with green taking Hanamura and purple taking Lijiang Tower. And then so we're going to have Dorado to finish off the best of 3 here. We're going to have a little bit short delay, but overall we're going to be getting into Dorado shortly right now. So far, it seems like green managed to figure out green managed to figure out how to go against purple here, since before purple had really solid defense on both Hanamura as well as the first 3 parts of Lijiang Tower, but it looks like they managed to figure out what they need to do in terms of ultimate usage, as well as coordination of their heroes, whether to push in here, whether to push in again. And one thing that showed really well is Tanti switching on that Lucio. It seems that when they switch on that Lucio, it seems like everything just clicked really nicely. With the rotations, their picks, diving onto the back line. I think that Lucio pick did really well for green there.
Definitely, and I really felt like both teams kind of got together at the end, and they, as the night's gone on, I feel like I've seen way better teamwork come out from either of these teams, and naturally it would, because they've gotten a longer time to get to know each other and to get to know their play styles and to get to work better as a team.
And it looks like we're about to head off here as both teams are back, and we are going to be entering Dorado pretty soon here.
So now we're in Dorado, which is going to be our last map. Again, I apologize for what I said earlier. I thought the stream was over. I'm terribly sorry for my mistake.
Hey, it's all good, man. It happens. Don't worry about it. So I'm interested to see. Looks like Purple is going to be on defense right now. I'm interested to see how they play this out, since they are going to be running some sort of like a dive-ish type of comp on defense side, and I really want to see how they coordinate on Dorado, since they've been doing a pretty good job of coordinating their defense on the past 2 maps, and I think if they play it right, they might be able to pull it off here. As Dorado really helps you do those type of plays, since you have these choke points that the offense has to go through, and if Purple coordinates correctly, they can pick off the backline like they've been doing this whole set.
Ready for group up with me.
Definitely. And as we look on these team comps here, seeing what they're going to be playing, we're going to be seeing coming out for Purple a Mei. What do you think about this Mei pick? Definitely on defense.
I think Mei is a pretty decent pick here, especially when you go through the under the bridge. Mei can put up a wall, and it's really hard for Green to push on through if they do get blocked off. But however, if Green just decides to rotate on the left side and then just take that bridge area, then I think that Mei's gonna be a little bit less effective, as she has a little bit of a hard time just covering that high ground with her wall and her wall alone. So if they are, Lime Drop's gonna have to watch out for that high ground offense if Green does decide to rotate on there. But otherwise, this Mei pick is pretty solid, especially when you're going through under the bridge choke.
And also, just to mention this Widowmaker pick on attack real quick, it can be really effective if she can get picks, but if she can't really get any picks, it's going to be like a man down almost. So let's see how this Tanti is on this Widowmaker as they push this card through the choke, and Purple is not rotating. They should have rotated earlier, and now they're going to have a difficult time trying to defend this, as Widowmaker and Soldier are behind him, and they're going to have to peel off some of their team to try to deal with this Widowmaker who's in their backline. Yeah,
that was a really nice play. Naughtyfly actually punches Tanti in the back there, taking care of it immediately. And while they did not rotate cleanly enough, they did manage to come back by taking care of the backline first, and then going back and taking care of the payload. And it looks like they're going to clean up the rest of Green here, and they're going to stop the push.
Looks like that Mei pick really paid off, because as you saw there, she was able to put up a wall there and basically stop Green's push completely and give Purple the time they needed to refocus and regroup.
Yeah, and you see Mei really shining here as Green's approach gets charged off, and then Juawea and Sleepy can just rain havoc on this Far Mercy, since they don't have to worry about the rest of Green rotating out. It looks like we do have this wall coming out here, and Juawea is looking for a rocket barrage but doesn't manage to find it. But it looks like Green is trying to push on through with that nano boost on that Winston and trying to take out Mercy in the back, but does get covered by Soundbar out here. But as Transcendence does push on right through, looks like Green is not ready to give up on this choke push just yet.
And the D-Ball does come out as well. Both Primal Rages, both Winstons are battling it out right now. And we also see a really well-placed Mei ult coming out as well, with Sleepy soloing Kawan. He really wants that Mercy to stay in the sky and keep him away from those Winstons on the ground. It looks like Purple's going to manage to hold on to this point.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Purple did a really good job there, putting that Blizzard, especially Lime Drop, just put that Blizzard down, as well as the wall on the back of the choke, and Green really had no option except to just either die or retreat, and as a result, Purple managed to hold that choke really well. And you see Green here finally adapting, taking the top left side to not get walled off, and Mei's going to be a little bit less effective here as she can't wall it off, and you see here Green's going to push on through as they try to hold on to the payload.
Keaton is going to be activating that tactical visor, but Lucio is right there with him, using that sound barrier to try to protect his team, as also High Noon's also going to be popped out, but Dorito Purge is using his defense matrix and even himself to stop that High Noon from really killing any of his team members, and with that, Purple is holding this choke still.
And green was really close to breaking it there, and that was definitely the answer that they need. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if the pushing onto the choke once again will be their answer, but looks like they're gonna try again anyway. Self-destruct gets bowled in and does take out Naughty Fly.
As two picks go out for them, but Sleepy completely retracts those picks as he reses both of them back, with Dorito Purge using that ult to take care of Papa Japanga there, and they're still holding on to this choke with about 30 seconds left in the clock.
Looks like Zima was forced to pop Transcendence here, and then green has to awkwardly push on through the choke, but however, Mei is still wreaking serious havoc, especially with this wall ready to go up against green. And with 20 seconds left, it's looking really bleak for green for pushing on through the checkpoint.
Rose did manage to get in the back line, and he did pop Primal Rage there, but Lucio is right there with him, activating Sound Barrier to basically stop it, and another Primal Rage gets activated by, Naughty Fly, and it's going to be overtime right now. All Purple has to do is knock green off the point, and then they have this.
Yeah, as they push on through right here, and Lime Drop doing a really good job with that maze, still stopping the rest of green. We do have High Noon coming out with and Nanda boosted as well on Winston, as Resilient is trying to get onto the backline, trying desperately to get on Sleepy as she's holding on to that Guardian Angel though. However, Sleepy is getting away and actually gets taken out by Self-Destruct, and with 3 down on the side of green, it's looking really rough for them to push on the choke point.
The Devo is going to be coming out, but no one's on the point, and that's going to be round 1.
And you see that Mei has a lot of power there, going through that choke under the bridge. Green did well adapting by pushing on the top left, but they gave up on it really easily once they got shut down, and they tried going back to the choke once again. But as you saw there, it was kind of like watching them ram their head against the wall, as that Mei was just way too good at stopping Green's push every time they push on through. So I think if green would have pushed onto the top left side there and just take the high ground, then they would have had a much better chance. And you saw there with that initial push where it worked out really well and they actually got into the marketplace. But after that, they got picked off. But it wasn't due to the Mei, which is because of a little bit of a lack of coordination pushing through the marketplace. So overall, I would really like to see them adapt more, but rather than just going through that choke over and over again.
Yeah, I feel like especially when the one time they did push up through a different route there, once they got to the marketplace, they were kind of unsure what to do. Like, they were saying to themselves, who do I attack? Where do I go now once I get past this choke? And they couldn't answer those questions fast enough, and they ended up getting pushed back, and then they resorted to their kind of default stance of pushing or trying to force, like Feeney said, slam their head against the wall repeatedly against that Mei wall, which blocked them off.
And we kind of saw this before with green kind of not being able to handle purple's, not being able to handle their defense there. And I would really like to see them adapt like they have been doing in Lijiang and Hanamura as well. Since once they figured it out, they just steamrolled their way through, especially in Hanamura, the first map, where they steamrolled their way through with their really nice Lucio rotations and their really nice backline dives. So if they manage to do the same thing once again, then I think they're in good shape. But based off that last round, it's not looking too good for them in terms of adapting against purple.
Looks like we are going to be seeing a cheeky Bastion pick coming out from Dorito here. Since they only have to travel a short distance, green really needs to get onto them, and if they lose one team fight, it's lost for them.
Looks like we are going to have the President comp, not using Orisa, but just using Reinhardt only. And looks like we do have Taunty actually gets taken out on Widow, and green is down one man. That's really big as they don't have that much to go through, and purple is looking to finish the rest of this out without that Widow on the side of green.
Looks like they're so close to the point here as Lime Drop kills Zumu. All the picks are going for purple right now, as they only have to touch it a little bit in order to get it. With Widowmaker, with the Tiny Diva trying to hold on to that point, trying to sneak in there, but it's not going to be enough, and they're going to be taking this point.
And yeah, that green just couldn't adapt fast enough there towards the on that last map. As you saw before in the past two games, green took a little bit to adapt, especially in Lijiang Tower. They really needed to take their time and figure out their swaps, but unfortunately purple just executed a lot faster than green could adapt, and as a result, green just managed to get that map, lost that out of their hands.
We are going to be seeing Naughty Fly here getting play of the game with a shutdown. I wonder what this is going to be.
Yeah, Naughty Fly has been doing really well. Did well this whole set, just initiating for his team. especially when in tandem when Lime Drop was running Tracer. I really like that those two on Winston and Tracer, since they seemed like they had a lot of synergy, and Green didn't seem like they could have handled it. They were trying to pick Reaper, they were trying to pick McCree, but Purple just kept going on through and diving on their backline, so really good job there on Winston.
Especially really well played by him, and especially well played by everyone. There was a lot of really nice plays, not just the ones we mentioned, but also the ones you probably saw on the camera.